Well, hello everyone, and happy Thanksgiving from Veterans Memorial Stadium, where today the Quincy Presidents will take on the North Quincy Red Raiders on the 76th edition of Thanksgiving football. My name is Jonathan Clary, and I'm being joined by Jim Timmons, and you're watching QATV's coverage of this annual classic here in the city of Quincy. And Jim, as always, we say it every year, it's going to be a fantastic game here this morning.
Oh, you're right. Just the matchups themselves are great, but the weather is absolutely superb. 40 degrees today at 9:30 up on Forbes Hill, so I would say that we've got perfect football weather. The only factor really will be the sun. The sun's going to be kind of moving around the south end of the field. It's going to be moving from the east to the west, so that'll be a bit of a factor for team heading south at the beginning of the game and possibly for receivers looking back for the ball when they're heading toward the north zone. So that's the only factor, and you know you're in good shape when the sun is the only factor as far as weather conditions, John.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, it's going to be clear skies here today. There's supposed to be no rain, a little bit of a wind, but the sun will be the main factor, as it usually is here in the morning for Thanksgiving football here at the stadium. Coming into this game, Quincy High School has a record of 4-6. North Quincy 6-4. Both teams had their first year in the Patriot League. Quincy High School is in the Keenan division of the Patriot League. North Quincy in the Fisher division. Real quick with Quincy High School, as I mentioned, they're 4-6. They finished with a record of 1-4 in the division. However, Quincy High School's record is kind of deceiving. They had 3 games where they lost by 1 point. So a couple of tough losses there for Quincy High School. And some of the other games that they lost by more than 1 point against Duxbury and Silver Lake, to mention 2. They played both of those very good teams very close. Duxbury right now is undefeated, 10-0. They're going to be going to the Division 2A playoffs as a representative from the Patriot League. So Quincy High School played very well this year. Look for their star quarterback, Lance Peterson, also their star wide receiver, Anthony Ratz, to be highlights of the team here today. Also the captains, E.J. Lewis and Sean Gray, people to look out for. And Jim, they're going to have to look out for some great guys on North Quincy as well.
Yeah, North Quincy had a very successful year this year, rotating running backs in. They've got a pile of running backs, and I'm sure the game plan is to try to wear Quincy down a little bit. North's coming off a little bit of a slow ending to the season. They lost to Middleborough in their last game, and then in the Patriot Bowl game here at the stadium a week ago, they lost to Silver Lake. But I've heard word from some of the Red Raiders that part of the factor in the outcome of that game was that North was aware of the Quincy High Presidents being in the stands watching the game, so they held a few nuggets for today back. So we'll see if that isn't a factor. But we'll be looking for guys like Pat Watkins, Joe Valpondo, Terrence Staley, and then quarterback Mike Stanton. Stanton's a real talented guy who can throw the ball. He's directed the offense very well. So one thing when you go back in the history of the series, the last several games, 5 games, North Quincy's been shut out a couple of times. They've only scored 1 touchdown. So the Red Raider offense is fired up today to break that string.
You mentioned the string. Right now, Quincy High School has won 9 straight, 13 of the last 14, Jim. The series record stands at 42, 28, and 5 ties.
Yeah, and for our viewers out there, I just want to know, John Caleri insisted on being able to give the current series standings, being a Quincy High grad. So, and he's here with the principal, Frank Santoro.
I was just going to say, another person that's probably happy with those 9 wins in a row, Quincy High principal Frank Santoro. And Frank, thanks for joining us here on QATV's pregame show.
Good morning, gentlemen. Nice to be here.
And obviously a great morning here in the city of Quincy. And Jim and I mentioned this is always one of the highlights of the year, this game between North Quincy and Quincy.
It certainly is, and I like the color microphones you both have. Very appropriate. But I will tell you, what more could you ask for? A beautiful day, a beautiful facility, 2 great teams who've had great success in our new league. And what a day to be here at Veterans Memorial Stadium.
Well, you mentioned the new league and the Patriot League, and I think one of the key things to that was a lot less travel. It makes it better for the kids traveling all around.
Yeah, it's certainly important. As you know, traveling in a bus for so many hours to play a game is not a good thing, whether you're an athlete or whether you're a student, because it did affect our students leaving school early, staying up late, the next day affecting them if they had tests. So it's actually a perfect thing for both of us.
Now, did you speak to the team yet? And if you did, what did you say to them?
Yeah, traditionally, our team gets together the night before. Last night we had dinner together. We brought in alumni. Alumni come in, the coaches speak, and I just talked about the importance of the brotherhood that they've established through the year as teams and to do things together, which they certainly have, and we're quite proud of our kids.
Well, they certainly had a good year this year. They had a couple of tough losses, but their first-year head coach, Bill Reardon, certainly did a great job with his team.
He did. Our record could be completely reversed. 3 one-point games in a very tough side of the league. and our boys have come through beyond expectations this year.
Well, Frank, we thank you for coming on the pregame show, and have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm sure you're looking for a Quincy High victory.
I certainly am. Have a good day.
All right, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming on.
Bye-bye.
Well, Jim, Frank Santoro, some kind words for Quincy High School. And as you said, the football teams, they have a brotherhood, and they've been through a long season. And for both teams, this is going to be the culmination of the season.
Yeah, both teams, you're right. I noted after the first couple of games, Quincy High, I thought after the first game, looked really strong. They looked ready to go this season. And North came out a little slow. North showed the best progress early on in the season. They really played well and developed. And then, as I said, toward the end of the year, they had a couple little stumbles. Quincy High, very consistent all year. They played very well. They were in most of the games they played, lost a couple by just a few points. So you're correct about that notion of brotherhood or team or whatever, that you can see that on the field. And John and I will confess that this year was the best season of the last several. We covered games every Friday night, and frankly, there were some Friday nights in past years where it was difficult to keep the energy level up, either because of the team's performance or the team's getting bombed or whatever. But both teams this year were in every game, and it was very exciting to be up here at Veterans.
Certainly was, and I'm sure a man who was happy for a lot of those exciting games is the principal of North Quincy High School, Earl Metzler. And Jim, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks for joining us, Earl. Welcome and happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you, Mr. Timmons. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. Just want to share some thoughts with us about how you saw the team develop over the course of the year and the program in general as principal at North Quincy High.
Well, thank you for that kind introduction. And what we've got to see during the course of the year is we got to see a group of young men develop as a team, and that spirit of teamwork and sportsmanship, which I'm very proud of. And I'm also very proud of both schools. We didn't lose one player to this game today because of academic ineligibility. And that means these kids aren't only getting it done on the field, both schools, they're also getting it done in the classroom. And that's what we're most proud about.
Yeah, I think you make an excellent point. I know that Coach Conn is proud of the fact that his team has won the Sportsmanship Award. Is it 3 years in a row now that they've won it in their league?
Well, I'm not quite sure how many, because we've switched leagues, but that really, his leadership in terms of teaching the young men rather, how to play the game and how to do it right is being rewarded with sportsmanship acknowledgement.
Yeah, one of the officials who's done several of your games is a friend of mine, and he asked me after the last game that he did here at Veterans Stadium who number 55 was, R.J. Barden, and he particularly noted that it was refreshing for him as a high school official to see a young man who's a dominant athlete and the captain of his team, but he was the type of kid who was always talking positively to anyone on the field, the officials, the opponents. There were several plays where RJ would pancake another player, and then he'd be the guy to pick him up. So that type of leadership and sportsmanship is what typified North Quincy this year.
Well, that's really nice to hear, and RJ is certainly a class kid. Kind of a throwback player. What's been really great about the last couple of years since I've been at North is that the spirit there is just, it's incredible. And with kids like RJ and others like Pat Watkins and those kind of kids, they just really have that spirit, and people feed off it. It's contagious.
Both of which are at the runway.
Yeah, you're right. And then you have other kids like Brian Donahue, who, one of the interesting contrasts in the North and Quincy game is like this year, North's got a little more depth, and they may be able to wear Quincy down. But one thing we saw about the Quincy kids all year is that toughness and the physicality. Well, Brian Donahue is one of several others on the North squad who I think can match the Quincy toughness, bang for bang. He's a very physical player.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Year in and year out, the Quincy High team, they love to hit, and they do it often, and they do it well. And so defensively they're sound. Their head coach is a former defensive coordinator, so their scheme will be great, and they get after it. So we ought to be ready.
Yeah, that's a real positive with both coaches that we should mention. Coach Connor is in the building at North. Coach Reardon is in the building at Quincy, and I think that's a factor in your initial point here about the fact that they're on top of their players, they remained academically eligible, and it's a real positive about what's going on in football here in Quincy.
In this day and age too, we sometimes lose the spirit of what role models should be, and both of those young men, Mr. Reardon and Mr. Connor, Coach Reardon, Coach Connor, are just unbelievable role models. I have two little girls, but if I had boys, I'd want them to play for men like them because they do it right. They care about the kids and they teach them, and they just do it right.
Yeah, that's great. And how is it going for you up at North Quincy? You're new there. You're not a veteran like Frank Santoro to the high school principalship. You've certainly got your feet wet over the last 2 years, and you're enjoying it, I'm sure.
Oh, it's incredible. You know, each night that I'm leaving the house, you know, to go out, you get to celebrate, you know, academic excellence in the arts, and certainly athletic excellence. And so it's, you know, excellence doesn't happen by chance; it happens by choice, and it's really a powerful message that our kids choose to be excellent.
That's great. Well, we really appreciate you stopping by. We wish you well. I'll wish you luck, but I have to maintain my impartiality. That's another factor for our viewers. I'm a BC High grad, so I'll be neutral in the booth, unlike Mr. Caleri, who we try to have him hide his biases, and he does a good job of it. So thanks a lot, Earl, and have a nice Thanksgiving with your family.
Thank you. You too, Mr. Timmons.
Okay.
All right, Jim.
We took a little shot at you, John.
Yeah, I was right next door, so I was able to hear
Okay.
that. But that's okay. I'm used to that throughout the entire season, but that's okay.
Yeah.
As we get ready for some more interviews here on the QATV pregame show, again, this is the 76th edition of Quincy versus North Quincy High School football. And right now we're going to be bringing in, let me see, yeah, it's going to be coming in right now. You can come on in, Sean Brennan from the Quincy Sun. Sean, thanks for joining us here on the pregame show.
Guys, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Both teams come in this year with pretty much even records, and both teams have had pretty decent years. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, both teams have done very well. North Quincy started off, I believe they started off 5-2 at one point. Unfortunately for them, they lost their last 2 games. A tough one to Middleborough, 16-13, and then 23-6 to Silver Lake in their last game. Very good team, though, very balanced. Quincy on the other side, 4-6, but very easily could be 6-4. 3 one-point losses, including a season opener overtime loss to Cohasset, a second week 8-7 loss to Canton, and a last-minute loss to Scituate later in the season. Both very good teams. Should be a good game.
One thing about Quincy High School as well, they played Duxbury very well. They lost the game 18-0, but they played them very well. And also Silver Lake, they were right in that game until almost the last quarter.
Yes, Quincy's played well against everyone. Very competitive this year. Like I said, 3 one-point losses. The loss to Duxbury 18-0, and Duxbury beat Hanover, I think, by close to 30 in the league championship. So they've been competitive with everyone. They're in the tougher division, I think, of the Patriot League. That's for sure. So.
Yep. Going to North Quincy now. Some of their star players. One of the quarterback, Mike Stanton, all-league all-star this year. Talk about Stanton's rise this year as his first-year starter.
Yeah, first-year starter. Did he come out of nowhere? I'm not really sure. I didn't know him last year though. But according to Coach Connor, he's the prototypical quarterback, pocket passer, great thrower, completes the passes he needs to complete. Like you said, all-league player, and only a junior. But then you go to Quincy and Lance Peterson, only a junior, 1-0 on Thanksgiving, so it should be a good matchup, that's for sure.
North Quincy also has a lot of receivers that can go to. You look at Watkins, Reamer, Valpona coming out in the backfield, a lot of weapons for them. Quincy has a lot of weapons coming out of their team, too, especially with Anthony Raditz.
Anthony Raditz may be the most explosive offensive player on the field today. 10 touchdowns this year. Him and Peterson have a great connection. And Anthony was an honorable mention all-star, probably should have been an all-league all-star in my opinion. He's going to be a kid to watch today, that's for sure.
Yeah, Anthony Raditz, as you mentioned, was honorable mention. A wide receiver from Hanover and Duxbury, got the all-league honors. Very competitive in the Patriot League, a lot of great players, and I think North Quincy benefited from this year.
Yeah, I think the competition, brought their game up a little bit more, absolutely. Patriot League's a very good league. Like you said, Duxbury's going to be going to the playoffs. They're undefeated. You got Hingham, Silver Lake.
Yep.
I mean, very good league, so, we'll see.
Now, what do you think the keys for victory for each team are here today coming out?
In my opinion, for North Quincy, it's do what they've done all year. They can't be conservative. I think they need to go out there, attack Quincy. Like you said, they got the running backs and wide receivers in Watkins, Valpondo, Donahue, Staley. I mean, pretty ridiculous depth, actually. So if they attack Quincy, I think they'll be okay. Their offensive line's really good. For Quincy, I think they just need to control the ball, not turn it over, and no stupid penalties.
All right, excellent. Sean Brennan from the Quincy Sun, we thanks for coming on
No
QATV
problem.
pregame show.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.
Thank you very much.
All right, we want to thank Sean Brennan from the Quincy Sun coming on to talk about the QATV pregame show. And right now we're going to be joined by another special guest here, the mayor of the city of Quincy, Mayor Tom Koch. Mayor, happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you, Jonathan. Jim, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Mayor. Mayor, the field is in great shape. It's a great day weather-wise, so we're looking forward to an exciting game. You must take some real pride in being on the field on a day like today after all the hard work you put in a few years back in your prior life.
Yes, it is. It is neat to be here. I mean, it's a fabulous stadium to start with. The history down here, the tradition down here, particularly today's game. But the field is gorgeous. We used to struggle to try to keep turf on it. You had more than 50 games on it before the Thanksgiving game. so it was difficult to keep the turf going. So to have the beautiful synthetic turf is just terrific, not only for football but for all the sports.
That's one of the things a lot of people that visit Quincy from other communities, they see this great field, also Adams Field, McCoy Mitchell Field, right in this whole area, a lot of great athletic facilities, and they take marvel at that the city of Quincy, you don't think of a lot of these great facilities, but we do have them.
We do. We're very fortunate. We have an outstanding school system, great programs, and we have outstanding parks and facilities for families. And that's one of the reasons we attract good families to the city. Good schools, good parks, good safe city. It all adds up and makes for a great community.
Mayor, we know you're a North Quincy High grad, and we'll kind of put that aside because I'm sure you're going to sit right on the 50-yard line for this game. But you also have to go down to the Fall River Clubhouse today for Thanksgiving Day feast, I guess, that you're hosting. So it's going to be a very busy day for you, traveling all around the city, not just the north end.
It is a busy day. I tried to get my kids to join me this morning, but they're watching the Macy's Day Parade on TV and very comfortable on the couch, but I'll be grabbing them a little bit later. That's a tradition that Walter Hannon started when he was mayor, feeding seniors today that may not have family or have no place to go. So, it's a beautiful day. It's a great day to remember what's important in life and how much we have to be thankful for. So it's a great opportunity to say that to folks. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm grateful to be your mayor. We have a great city, and a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the day, everybody.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Mayor. We really appreciate it. And,
My pleasure.
Look forward to having a nice long weekend, too. We hope your family enjoys.
Go North and go Quincy.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
All right, well, again, we thank the mayor for coming on to the QATV pregame show. We're almost underway here at the stadium. A few more minutes. There are some other festivities that are taking place here at the stadium. There's going to be a dedication of the Quincy North Quincy Hall of Fame in the north end zone. A structure has been built to honor those who are in the Hall of Fame. That dedication is also going to be happening here today. Being joined now by the Superintendent of Public Schools here in the city, Quincy, Superintendent Richard DeCristofaro. Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, same to you, and same to Jim. You guys do a great job. Appreciate everything you do for our kids.
Oh, thank you very much.
you.
But what a beautiful day. Great celebration, and I know it's going to be a good game, and hopefully it's a tie. And I'll get letters on that, but, you never know. But, as I said to these kids yesterday, we talked to them and told them, the three things, you work hard, you keep believing in yourself, in your family, in your coaches, in your teammates, and you dream of what can be, not only now, but in the future. So they're great kids, and I'm glad people like you and so many others support them.
And this is one of the highlights of the year for the seniors especially. You think of graduation, the seniors also think of Thanksgiving Day game. So it's one of the highlights for the city of Quincy in the public school system, this event, where thousands of people come out to watch the game.
That's right. We have a lot of events that we feature, and this certainly is one of the best because it brings in so many of the alumni, so many people that have moved out of the city of Quincy, and then so many that wish they were right here back with us.
Definitely, and like you said, there's so many people come out from this game from all around the communities, from all around here in the South Shore, and the students are very proud of themselves too, coming out here. And that's the other thing too, students come out here for the entire year to support all their players.
That's exactly right. It's a remarkable year after year after year, the spirit that both of these schools have and how it comes to this culmination, at this event. So, we're hoping that it's a great event, and I'm hoping that all our kids are safe. Parents enjoy the game. You two enjoy announcing the game, and me watching it later on again.
Exactly.
With your announcements. So again, appreciate what you guys do, and what all the parents here do to support their kids.
All right, Superintendent, happy Thanksgiving. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Jonathan. Same to you.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, as we get ready to wrap up here on the pregame show, your final thoughts on this game here today?
Well, I'll tell you, we'll let our viewers in on a little secret. John and I, after the first game, after we cover each team once, the beginning of the season, we make a little private call between each other. You can disclose yours or not, but after I watched Quincy in its opening game and North in its opening game, I said to John, I'm picking Quincy on Thanksgiving Day. However, watching North over the course of the season develop, I kind of changed my view, to be honest. There was some things that we saw as the season progressed that just didn't look to be there or potentially be there after the first game. North's got a loaded backfield, and they've got depth in the backfield. They've got some very talented athletes, and they could wear down Quincy High today. However, Quincy just has that toughness and that ferocity, and Coach Bill Reardon has these kids ready to run through the cement stanchion behind our cameraman, John Mercurio. Bill Reardon's a great coach, and he's got everything he could out of these kids this year. And, they're going to be fired up. So Coach Connor and Coach Reardon going to be playing a little chess. What I'm going to be looking for is early in the third quarter to see whether Quincy High is starting to wear down. That's going to be what I think determines the game. If they can hang in there, it's going to be a dogfight. If North can wear them down, then North should break the string today.
Well, one thing you see every year, we always think we can pick a winner, like you said. And every year we seem to have a front runner. This year, teams are almost split right down the middle. Both teams are very talented, very tough, and it's going to be a fantastic game here at the stadium. Well, Jim, we're going to be getting ready to go up into the booth, and when we leave you, we're going to be going to some highlights now from both Quincy and North Quincy from the entire year. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll show some highlights from Quincy and North Quincy football.
And Brittany Falcon.
And,
it's going to be a fake. They give it to Nguyen. Has some space, cuts back inside, picks up the first down and more, and the fake punt works for the Presidents. They're going to get all the way up now to the Cohasset 45. An onside kick. Gets a great bounce, and North Quincy recovers. Tim Stilley went up and got it, and North Quincy gets it. Unbelievable. So third down and long, 3rd and 18 for the Presidents. Peterson back to pass, looking for Rats over to his left side. Lost it up there, and Raditz came back for it, stays on his feet, and touchdown.
Oh, what an individual effort by Raditz.
Big first down for North Quincy early on in the second half. Stanton back to pass, looking downfield for Reamer, has him, and it's complete. Reamer has it at the 30, 25-20, trying to beat two men, gets up to the 10, and knocked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Big play there by Paul Reamer. Nguyen's in the backfield. Back to pass, looking for Raditz in the end zone with the fade, and it's caught by the 2 points. A flag is thrown, but the Presidents will take the 2 points. All right, third down and 7 to go now for Hanover at their own 43. Johnson back to pass, down the field, and it's going to be picked off by Matt Jay again, his second interception of the game. He crosses up to the 30-yard line, cuts back up to the middle of the field. Flag thrown on the play, gets up to the 25, and he's going to get tackled there. From himself, trying to look to convert, put something in the end zone.
Uh-oh.
Andrews got free, and it is intercepted by Quincy. He came off of nowhere and makes the interception. So 3rd and 10 for North Quincy. Reamer is touchdown North Quincy.
What a catch by Jay.
Matt Jay bobbled it, brought it in, and goes in for the score. And North Quincy gets exactly what they wanted. Quincy 130 yards rushing so far on the day. They can hand off. Gilboy's wide open behind everyone. He catches at the 10-5 touchdown Presidents. Wide open was Mark Gilboy. He got behind everyone. All right, back to pass, looking for James. And it is intercepted by North Quincy. Joe Valpondo's going to run it out of the end zone. And he's going to get brought down to the 25-yard line. Joe Valpondo went up there. Back to pass, looking for Raditz. He's open in the end zone. And touchdown, Presidents.
Great play.
Great job. So first down and 10 for the Panthers. Burke back to pass, looking downfield. And it is picked off by Joe Valpondo. His second interception of the game. Looking for Peterson, looking for Raditz. Raditz sidesteps his man, and he's fighting for the ball. Touchdown! Touchdown, Presidents.
To the ball.
Clock begins to run, under a minute now. Reardon back to pass again. Looking downfield, and it's going to be intercepted by North Quincy. And here he is again, Matt Jay. He's going to have some space to run this back to across the 30, over the 35, still on his feet. And we'll get up to the 40-yard line. Huge play there by Matt Jay.
Yeah, they like to isolate Raditz like this. That's really the point of the receivers, right? And they are looking left right away.
And Raditz is open, and he's going to be complete. Breaks free, crosses the 40, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown on the very first play. Quincy comes right back and scores.
Oh, great stuff. That's just super.
In the shotgun again is Brian Whitskin, back to pass, looking down the middle, and he is picked off again, and going up to get it, Paul Reamer. He flew up there to get that one.
The quarterback locked on a receiver, and Reamer's reading him all the way. Look at him get up and make that reception. Great job by Paul Reamer. Big play for the Red Raiders. Him out a little bit. He's going to run to the sideline, then get back to the huddle, and Oh, nice little
Raditz
pump fake.
downfield. And Raditz catches at the 50. Has one man to beat 30, 25, 20. And he's going to go. Touchdown, Presidents.
Great job by Raditz, but what a pump fake by Lance Peterson. There's the pump fake by Peterson. He lets it fly, and here's Raditz, who's already behind the defensive end. Now watch here as he eludes his tackle. What a great individual effort by Anthony Raditz. He shook him loose, and then it's all green.
5-yard line. Back to pass against State. Pump fakes. Has a man downfield, and Stille has catch. And Stille's going to go all the way. Great play there by North Quincy, and they are right back in this ball game.
Oh, super play.
Quincy stacks up the line. The handoff, and it is stopped. Quincy stops him on 4th down, and it looked like Sean Gray came out of nowhere to make the hit.
You're going to see Gray come from the top of the screen. What a hit.
A little over 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Dal Pondo once again gets it, and this time he's going to actually falls forward, still on his feet, and he breaks through, and he's going in for the touchdown. Joe Valpondo got knocked back about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, stayed on his feet, and runs it in for a 21-yard touchdown run. 3rd and long now for Quincy High School. Peterson back to pass, looking for Raditz in the corner of the end zone. He's open, and touchdown, Presidents! Anthony Raditz tiptoes into the end zone, and Quincy comes out and takes the lead.
That's the north 20-yard line camera. So Peterson's out. There you see Raditz up in the top of your screen. Ball comes right over. Great footwork by Raditz at the pylon. And what has been a well-played third quarter. Both teams scoring.
All right, handoff goes to Staley again over to the right side, cuts back up into the middle, over the 50, still on his feet, crosses the 50, and he's going to break free. And he's going to go for a touchdown. Terrence Staley, a great job there.
A 56-yard spinning run, breaking tackles. What an effort by Staley.
Send Joliker in motion, over to the left side, has a lot of room to run. 10-5, touchdown, Presidents! First play of the overtime, and Ed Joliker runs it in for the touchdown.
They've got to get the ball downfield here. There's just no other option with 4:24 to go, John.
Dal Pondo goes in motion. They're going to give it to him. He's going to try to get outside and misses one tackle, makes another one miss. Still on his feet, he breaks free, crosses over to the 40, and cut pass across the field. Gets over to the 30, 25, 20, 2 men to beat, cuts back in, and he's going to go!
Valpondo!
Joe Valpondo!
Oh, what a run!
55-yard touchdown run, and North Quincy is back in this ball game instantly. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Veterans Memorial Stadium. Real quick before we get underway here, we want to mention the Kings and Queens names from each high school. We'll start off with Quincy High School. The Quincy High School King this year was Joe Flanagan, and the Queen was Alyssa Mullen. From North Quincy High School, the King was Frankie Flora, and the Queen was Brittany Folkens. Well, right now we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here with the start of Thanksgiving football.
Executed play.
And he's going to go all the way for the touchdown on the very first play. Quincy comes right back and scores.
Oh, great stuff. That's just super.
Well, hello, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving from Veterans Memorial Stadium, where today the 76th edition of Quincy versus North Quincy High School football will take place. My name is Jonathan Caleri, and I'm being joined by Jim Timmons. We're up here high above the stadium in the booth to call this annual tradition, and I know Jim and I are both happy and privileged that we're able to be up here on Thanksgiving morning to call the game and bring it to you here in the citizens of the city of Quincy. Well, Jim, we had our pregame show, and we had a lot of good words said about both teams, and it should be a very good game here today.
Yeah, we're going to take a break for the national anthem, and then we'll do our run-up to the start of the game. Quite a crowd here still getting into the stadium as we pause for the national anthem.
Well, a nice rendition of our national anthem by the North Quincy High School Combined Marching Band down the field here on Thanksgiving, and the ROTC Color Guard presenting the colors on the field as well. So great job by all those students.
Yeah, and the band's all decked out today. They really look great. They were here early warming up. They sound great. They look great. It's going to be a terrific day here today, John. We mentioned earlier, we think that the teams match up well, and it should be an exciting football game. And field conditions, weather conditions, everything is superb so that the athletes are going to be able to show their skills, not impacted by things like mud or muck. We saw a couple of the replays of games on prior Thanksgivings on the old Veterans turf where it was just a mud ball. Well, this year we've got the new turf, great weather, should be spectacular. Interesting little touch here today, similar to the Patriots. Looks like all the North seniors are escorting their captains out for the coin toss.
All right, we will go down to the coin toss. The seniors coming out there, R.J. Barden, Pat Watkins, Terrell Staley, and Joe Benoit for North Quincy. And for Quincy High School, Sean Gray and E.J. Lewis. Going to go down to the field with our referee, John Magner.
Number 48, Terrell Staley, and number 73, Joe Benoit.
Okay, guys, congratulations on being captains of your team. Great game today. It's the best high school rivalry in the state. Okay, Quincy, you are the visiting team. Captain Gray, that's a head, that's a tail. Call it in the air, okay? What's that? Heads. Heads he calls. And it's a tail. Your option, kick, receive, defend a goal, defer. You want to defer? You want the ball? Which goal do you want to defend? Put your backs this way. Quincy over here. North Quincy High has won the toss, elected to defer to the second half.
North Quincy has won the toss, but will defer to the second.
Quincy will receive at the north goal. Shake hands, guys. Let's have a great game. Great game today.
Well, Jim, we heard down there North Quincy won the toss, and they decided to defer, which is no surprise. However, maybe a surprise, they decided to defend the south end zone first.
Yeah, Sean Gray got a kick out of how firmly he said, we want the ball. Quincy offense wants to get out there on the field. It is interesting. I mentioned in the pregame, the sun is flowing in from the south. And so the boys, the Quincy High boys facing south, are going to be looking into the sun. However, the receivers will be looking away from it. So in terms of the passing game, it's going to be a little bit of an edge to the Quincy receivers as they head from our left to our right. North Quincy's going to have the sun at his back to start the game. May affect the passing game, but that's also a sign that North's going to be looking to run the ball in this first half. I think Coach Connor is feeling that his running game and his defense are what he wants to key on. and trying to jump out on top of the Presidents early on here in this Thanksgiving Day battle, John.
All right, Jim, we mentioned it's a fantastic day here at the stadium. Right now we'll go to the QATV weather report. And here at the stadium is bright and sunny. And we'll slowly get that weather report up for you.
We can see the bright and sunny, though.
we
They're
can
doing
see
a
it.
nice job of...
Well, it's 40 degrees here at the stadium and a slight 11-mile-per-hour wind from the southwest. It says cloudy out on the field there on the forecast, but it is perfect skies here right now.
Yeah, we're joined in the booth by Martin Dunham, our statistician. He's done a great job all season. We appreciate his presence. He's really kept us up to date to help increase the quality of our coverage. Well, at least to give it an attempt to do so. You do a better job of processing data than I do. Love to get Grace Busher, if she gets a chance at some point, to take a little pan of Southern Artery. There are cars as far as you can see, and this place is packed today for Thanksgiving.
All right, Chris Avora will do the kicking for North Quincy, and we are underway here at the stadium. And it's a short kick, and it's fielded at the 39-yard line by North Quincy. And jumping on there was Nosy Agugwo, and that's what Quincy will take over at their own 39.
Yeah, North sticking with its approach of controlling things on special teams as opposed to trying to make any sort of big play with a deep kick. Red Raiders take a conservative approach on special teams, and it's paid off all year. They have not been burned. Avora with the squib kick. That's got through several times. It was a great play to cover it by Quincy at the 39. Nice field position for the Presidents as they come out to open Thanksgiving Day game.
All right, Quincy starts off with a full house backfield led by their quarterback, junior Lance Peterson. He's going to hand it off to Tim Lewis over to the left side, and Lewis is going to get up to about the 44-yard line, 5-yard gain on first down for the Presidents.
Yeah, Lewis is going to be relied on heavily here. He should be a major part of the story for the Presidents in today's game, because I'm sure the strategy on the far sideline, Coach Bill Reardon, is going to be to try to keep the North Quincy offense on the sideline with the Quincy running game. They've come with a full house backfield, John.
All right, Quincy moving from left to right for those listening at home. 2nd down and 5 now for the Presidents. Peterson hands off to Lewis. This time they're going to the right side. Flag is thrown on the play. Lewis got up to the 45-yard line before he was stopped. We'll have to see what the flag was. It was thrown by the umpire, who is Louis Pearlstein here today.
Yeah, the umpire is signaling it looks like it's a chop block against the Presidents, and I think they're going to bring this one back. Presidents are going to lose some yardage here.
All right, so it was a chop block. Good call there, Jim. Referee John Magnarelli down the field talking to R.J. Barden to discuss what North Quincy wants to do. And North Quincy's going to push the Presidents back.
Yeah, no question. What they're going to want to try to do is shift the field position a little bit. Both teams will get out of the field, Mike, for the call.
We have a chop block. Number 68 on the offense. 2nd down.
Ball pushed back inside the 30-yard line to the 29, John. So very costly penalty for Quincy. It's going to set them back to a 2nd and 20 from the 29-yard line.
All right, Presidents come up. He said 2nd down there long. 3 receivers to the right. Hand off to Lewis. And he got hit in the backfield there. Joe Benoit, the captain for North Quincy High School, broke through the line and made the first hit on Lewis. And Lewis is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Benoit, one of the leaders on this team, who's really come up big all year defensively. As you say, get in the backfield, nice penetration. Benoit and R.J. Barden are really quick athletes, and they've done a great job all year against the run. That time it was handled, the initial hit, I should say, was handled well by Lewis, but he was stopped well short of any sort of gain.
3rd and 19 now. They hand it off to Lewis again over to the left side, and he's going to get 5 or 6 yards on that play. They mark him down at the 37-yard line, but Quincy will still be forced to punt 4th and long.
Not the way Coach Reardon wanted to see the Presidents start out, John. I'm sure that he was hopeful, as I said, of keeping this Raider offense off the field. Joe Valpondo is going to go back deep to receive the punt from Brian McGee. Brian has been very effective all year, along with the Quincy special team. So this is a big punt early on in the game here in terms of field position, John.
All right, good snap. McGee hands it cleanly and gets a nice high kickoff. It's going to be short, though. And Valpondo calls for a fair catch at his own 42-yard line. So nice field position for North Quincy as they take over on the first drive here today.
Yeah, great job by Valpondo. We got up the field and made sure the ball did not bounce. So the Red Raiders start with very good field position. They're going to start at their 42. That's actually slightly better field position than what Quincy started with. We'll see how the Red Raider offense does. They're bringing Staley out early on. He's a guy who we've seen make some great plays all year, but he's not always featured in the backfield. But he is the featured tailback back there with Valpondo.
First down, 10 for North. Handed off to Staley over to the right side, crosses the 45, and it falls forward up to the 48. Hit off onto Terrence Staley on first down for North.
Yeah, just a little off-tackle play. Joe Valpondo went into the line ahead of Staley. Got a nice block. And see here, well, we don't see it from that camera, but there you see number 22 coming in for the Red Raiders. He's part of this rotating offense, Matt Jay. Valpondo and Staley come right off the field, get a little break, and now you have, actually, Staley's still out there. I'm sorry, Watkins is in the backfield now.
All right, second down and 5 for North. Play action fake. Stanton's going to go back to pass and finds Jay, crosses the 40, and it's going to get tackled now at the 35-yard line. Anthony Ratz got him down, but North Quincy strikes first here.
Nicely designed play, great execution, and quarterback Mike Stanton delivered a perfect pass out to the flat to Matt Jay. As we said, there's nothing but weaponry in this North Quincy Red Raider offense, John. Although we have the replay, the Red Raiders are coming up to the line, so we'll try to get our replays in when we can, but North Quincy's running a little bit of a hurried-up offense here.
19-yard gain there. Joe Valpondo takes the handoff now, running over to the right tackle, and still on his feet, and is going to get up to about the 32-yard line. So a 3-yard gain for Joe Valpondo.
Yeah, Valpondo refusing to get down there, following big number 68, A.J. Moore, for number 73, Joe Benoit, over the right side. Valpondo went off tackle, little 3-yard gain, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and 7 for the Red Raiders from the Quincy 32-yard line. There you see Watkins. As we said, they just keep rotating people in here, and this is going to be a big factor in today's game. Got Valpondo and Staley in the backfield. Watkins wide left, Rima wide right.
It's going to be pitched onto Valpondo over to the right side, trying to get outside, and he does cross the 30, and he gets knocked out of bounds by Brian McGee for the Presidents, and they're going to mark him out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 now for North.
Yeah, nice job by the President defense. Valpondo can run. He's a real scat back, even though they occasionally line him up as a fullback because he's a powerful blocker as well. But as you said, McGee got outside, but also a guy I get a big kick out of watching play football, number 7, the middle linebacker for Quincy, Sean Gray. He was out there on the far left sideline, John, even though he's lined up in the middle of the field, chasing down Valpondo.
All right, so 3rd down and 5. Terrence Staley gets it, and Sean Gray comes up next. Excuse me, that was number 36, James Nguyen, who came up and made the big hit. So that's going to leave them short of the first down. It's going to be about 4th down and 3 or 4 to go. We'll see if they spot the ball, and we'll call it 4th down and 4 for North.
Yeah, they're definitely in 4-down territory here, meaning they don't have a field goal kicker. Most high school teams do not, who could kick a field goal outside the 20. North Quincy is going to go for it here inside the 30. There's not an appreciable advantage to them punting the ball at this time. So they're at the 28, 4th down. Big play here for both teams early on in the game.
High formation, play action fake. Stan's going to go back to pass, hits Matt Jay, and he's going to be short of the first down. Quincy High School, great pursuit over there for was number 22 to make the big first hit, Ken Nguyen.
We've talked all year about number 22, Kenny Nguyen. Teams do not normally throw the ball to him after word get out on him, but he is a big-time football player. Kenny's not one of the bigger guys on the field, but he makes all the big plays, and Nguyen was there to make the stop on Jay. We talked a while ago about the matchups of the 22s here. Quincy's Kenny Nguyen, North Quincy's Matt Jay, while round one of that matchup goes to Nguyen.
All right, Presidents come out first down 10 at their own 29-yard line. Full house backfield again. He's going to hand it off to Tim Lewis over to the right side. And Lewis is going to get a couple of yards on that play. Looking making the first hit was Joe Benoit. Also over there was number 44 for North Quincy, Brian Donahue.
Lewis going to be under some pressure today, John. There's no question. You can tell what Coach Bill Reardon, at least the initial game plan is. They're going to try to run the ball. They're going to be doing it going to Lewis. Remember the spectacular performance of Mr. Arredondo last year. And looks like they're trying to get Lewis to match that. That's going to be overthrown out to the flat. Bring up a third down.
Yeah, try to go and find Anthony Raditz over on the far side left. But ball was overthrown by Peterson. So bring up now a third down and 8 to go for Quincy. Actually make it down third down and 7.
For our viewers at home, we should explain that clock cam is being interfered with. We've got it up on the deck of the broadcast area here. We've got a camera that we put on the scoreboard, and unfortunately, there's also personnel up there. There's coaches and other people up there who occasionally interfere with the flow.
All right, so third down and 7 now for the Presidents. Three receivers to the right of Peterson in the slot. They're going to give it to Tim Lewis over to the left side. Gets over to the 35-yard line and falls forward, but he's going to be a yard shy of the first down, and a late flag is thrown after the play.
First hit was by Terrence Staley. Barden is signaling that it's a call going against Quincy. Let's see what they do. It's going to bring up a 4th and 2. I'd call this definitely a punting decision for Quincy.
Ball foul. Personal foul. Number 63. Fourth down.
Well, it was after the play. So the ball was down, and I should say the runner was down. It was after the play. It's a 4th down penalty, a personal foul. So Quincy is going to lose some yardage here. Quincy's going to gain a bit. North Quincy, rather, is going to gain a bit in the field position situation. So see if the Red Raiders can't take advantage here, John.
That's a 15-yard penalty against Quincy High School. So as you said, they had a 4th down and 2. But you can negate that, and they have a long 4th down now, so they'll be forced to punt. 4:34 left to go now in the first quarter. Nice punt by McGee. Valpondo's going to take it at his own 45-yard line. And he has some space over to the left, crosses the 50, gets across the 45, being pursued, and he's going to get knocked down. Actually, no, he's on his feet still, and he picks up an extra 2 yards. Great run back by Joe Valpondo, and he's going to get up to the Quincy High School 38-yard line, and that's what North Quincy will take over. Valpondo put out a stiff arm and gained an extra 3 yards after the stiff arm.
Yeah, if you watch this replay, Valpondo is a guy who just refuses to go down. He's going to take the punt at the 45, and watch when he gets over to the sideline. He's got great foot speed here. They're slowing it down nicely in our replay booth. Watch him get outside. There's the stiff arm. Now here the play's over, but Joe doesn't think so. He keeps driving until he's brought down by Mr. Special Teams for Quincy, number 17, Pat Fernandez.
All right, Joe Valpondo gets a handoff on first down for North Quincy, and it's up the middle. He'll get up to the 36-yard line. So we'll bring up now a 2nd down and 7 for North Quincy as we approach the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, we'll see what sort of play calling North goes with. We mentioned before, Mike Stanton is a classic pocket passer. He's a tall young man. He's got a great view of the field, and he really delivers a beautiful ball. Both quarterbacks are very talented throwing, and we'll see if North doesn't open it up here in this first quarter.
All right, and Stanton passes, and it was intended for number 21, Paul Reamer, but the strong safety for Quincy High School, Nosy Agugwo, came up and said, "You'll have none of that," and puts him down, so it goes as an incomplete pass.
What a hit on Reamer, but I'll tell you what, the young man gets right up. Watch this replay. Reamer was doing a little slant pattern as he cuts in. He's got to reach for the ball. Agugwo nails him. Reamer pops right up. Both players deserve a lot of credit. That was a clean hit, a great football hit, and Reamer is still out there on the field. Deserves great credit. Hopefully the coaching staff's going to take the slant out of the playbook, John.
All right, Stanton goes back to pass and is being pursued. He's going to get sacked in the backfield. And coming up and making the first hit was number 36, James Nguyen. And then Tim Lewis, number 31, came and helped him finish it off.
Yeah, Quincy just collapsed the pocket around Stanton. He tried to step up in the pocket. And as you said, they would have nothing to do with it. James Nguyen, in there to take down Stanton. So North Quincy's offense sputters yet again here in this first quarter, and they'll be punting away. Sun could be a factor on this punt, John.
All right, Watkins gets a great punt off, and Anthony Ratz is going to call for a fair catch at his own 10-yard line, and that's where the Presidents will take over. So with 2:49 left to go in the first quarter, we're scoreless here at the stadium.
You can see the shadows there. They run directly behind the athletes. That means that the Quincy High athletes are looking directly in the sun. I give Raditz great credit. He was calling fair catch early on, and I'm sure the coaching staff told him, do not make any mistakes here fielding that punt. Just call a fair catch and make sure you get it in. Don't try to make a play knowing that the sun might be a factor. You recall last year, that was a factor in the outcome of the game, a turnover on a punt when the athlete was looking into the sun.
First down and 10 now for the Presidents. Lance Peterson under center. And they're going to try and pump fake to Raditz, and they go over to him. And this could be trouble, and it is broken up there by North Quincy. Nice job over there by Paul Reamer and also Matt Jay, the defensive backs from North Quincy, to knock up that pass intended for Anthony Raditz.
Yeah, Jay a little slow to get up. He landed awkwardly. He's got a problem on his with his right leg there, but Jay was there the whole time. There you see our crowd. That's a shot on Southern Artery of people still trying to get into the stadium here with 2:30 to go in this first quarter. So the place is packed, and there's more folks coming, John.
All right, so second down and 10 now for the Presidents. Ball at their own 10-yard line. Raditz goes wide to the left of Peterson. Wide right goes McGee. Ed Joliker comes into the backfield. And they're going to hand it to Joliker up the middle. And he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage before he's met by the defensive line of North Quincy. So no gain on that play for the Presidents.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch as they untangle the first guy in on the tackle, and I just can't catch the number. You do see number 44, Brian Donahue, in there. Donahue is a guy who we said earlier, he's got a nose to the action. But one of the linemen, and unfortunately we did not see who it was, wrapped up the back right at the line. So North Quincy defense continues to hold tough against the Quincy running game, John.
Also, one of the linebackers for North Quincy, number 65, Colin Hayes, was one of the last men to get up off that pile as well. He was in there to make the hit. So third down and long now for the Presidents. Pitch goes to the left to Ed Joliker. He's trying to get it outside, gets over to the 13-yard line, gets knocked out of bounds at the 14. So
Watkins.
Watkins over there to make the tackle. Fourth down and 5 now for the Presidents. Deep in their own territory, they'll be forced to punt.
Yeah, Captain Pat Watkins made a great tackle. He chased Joliker out there. Now, we've seen Joliker all season break tackles readily, but Watkins is a sure-handed tackler, really physical guy. We'll talk about this in a minute, but now Valpano is lining up at the 40. North Quincy has just continually gained field position with each successive set of downs here.
All right, nice punt by McGee. Valpano fields at the Quincy High School 45-yard line. Flags thrown on the play, and it looks like we're going to have a face mask called. Joe Valpano's calling for 2 flags thrown. Valpano got up to the Quincy High School 38-yard line, and if it is a face mask, you can tack 15 onto the end of the run. We'll see exactly what the call is, though.
Yeah, the line judge threw his flag in at the end of the play, and I think he is calling the same thing that Valpano saw. But there was an earlier flag thrown by the referee behind the play, and my suspicion is that this is going to be 2 fouls or offsetting penalties. We'll have to see what the call is. I was mentioning about field position. North started at its 42. Then it started well inside the Quincy 50. Now it's starting inside the 40. They've just progressively got better field position, John, for the offense to start. But the Quincy defense has been up to the task in this first quarter, coming up with stop after stop.
Our officials for today's game: referee John Magnarelli, umpire Louis Pearlstein, the linesman Dwight Sanborn, the field judge Robert Tate, back judge John Hall, and the clock operator Franklin Cockrell. John Magnarelli, the referee, was also here last year officiating this game between Quincy and North Quincy High School.
Yeah, he's done. He's the preferred ref, I believe, for the North and Quincy game. Martin Dunham points out time of possession. It's actually pretty even so far. Quincy's had 3 possessions for a total of 5:41. North Quincy about to start its third, and they've had the ball for 4:18 in a fairly evenly played first quarter. The only edge has been field position to the Red Raiders, but otherwise both defenses have played very well in this first quarter, John.
All right, the officials are still discussing down on the field. And I think what it might be, Jim, is there's 2 different penalties, and if they're offsetting or if one supersedes the other, it could be the call here, and that's what's taking so long. Giving credit to the officials on making sure they're getting it right, taking their time.
It's a very diplomatic way of putting things, John, in the QATV tradition.
1:01 left here in the first quarter. Scoreless here at the stadium on this 76th annual edition of Thanksgiving football between the Quincy Presidents and the North Quincy Red Raiders. My name is Jonathan Cleary, being joined by Jim Timmons here in the booth, and also Martin Dunham, our statistician. And we're going down to John Magnarelli for the call.
We have a post-scrimmage kick enforcement, 2 live ball penalties. We have a block in the back on the run back. We have a face mask on Quincy. For North Quincy to keep the ball, they have to accept their penalty. So we're going to move it back 10 yards, still North Quincy's ball.
All right, so the question there was whether North Quincy would accept the penalty and keep the ball, or whether they would force Quincy to punt again. So they North has decided to keep the ball, given the good field position. We're going to run the replay, and you'll see yet another nice punt. Both punters are very talented. Valpondo's going to come up and take it.
There's the block in the back, yep.
Right?
And there's the face mask right there as Joe Valpondo gets brought down.
Valpondo made a nice call on that. He was very decisive, John, unlike the officiating crew. So,
all right, so the ball is placed back now at the North Quincy High School 45-yard line. And that's where they'll take over.
We've got 2 wing backs, and Staley is the lone back.
Stanton looking to pass. Tim Lewis is being pressured. Man, Lewis brings him down. Great job there by Tim Lewis. Reached up for the arm of Mike Stanton and brought him down for a big loss. It's going to be a 10-yard loss.
Oh, what a play by Lewis, I'll tell you. And as we said in the pregame, the one question is going to be how Tim's legs hold up over the course of this game. Watch this play on replay and watch Lewis. He's just relentless and will not give up on the play. Stanton thinks he has him beat, but Lewis grabs hold of the jersey and pulls him down. A terrific job by Lewis. Big loss for the Red Raiders, who are now facing a 2nd and 20.
Hand that goes to Matt Jay over to the right side, and he'll get up to the 30-yard line before he was brought down there. Coming up was the safety, Ogugo, to make the hit.
That's going to be the final play of a well-played first quarter. A little conservative offensively, but some great defense being played by both squads, John, as we take a break after a first quarter with a 0-0 score.
This past Saturday, Jim, was a little turkey day here at the stadium where the freshman and JV teams to both schools meet. In the freshman contest, North Quincy came out on top by a score of 14-6. And in both touchdowns were scored by North Quincy fullback Walter Hannon. And in the JV game, North Quincy High School, again with another victory, this time winning 26-6. Shea Adesanya scored 2 touchdowns for the Red Raiders to lead the way. So North Quincy looking for a sweep here on Thanksgiving.
Tell you what, Walter Hannon is going to be quite a story over the next few years here. He's also a very talented golfer. It's an interesting double, and he has a tough choice in the fall because the sports are played in the same season. But Walter is a very talented running back. He's been a story in Quincy youth football for several years now, and he had a big day on Turkey Day, following in the footsteps of his dad, who was quite a high school and college football player. And although I don't know if his grandfather played football, but I know that his grandfather was a very chippy guy, so sure Walter takes that chippy toughness out onto the field with him each time. But congratulations to young Walter and the Red Raiders on the freshman game, and then the JV game as well. As you said, it was a game dominated by North defensively and their running game as well. So interesting. We'll see if the big boys can follow suit here, John.
I want to thank Martin Dunham for scouting out those games for us and giving us those stats. All right, so back underway here. First play of the second quarter. Ball is spotted on the North Quincy 41-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 14 to go for the Raiders. Offset backfield for North Quincy. Flag thrown on the play. Handoff goes to Staley, gets across the 50 and up to the Quincy High School 48. Terrence Staley on the carry. Looks like it might be an offsides on Quincy High School.
Yes, I think you're right on that call.
So it is an offsides on Quincy High School, but I believe North Quincy will take the play instead of the penalty.
I don't know. I might consider taking the penalty, take the 5 yards, and have another shot. It's going to be 4th down, and they're still short here, and they're in a position where they really should punt the ball. So let's see what they do. Again, the officiating crew working in a deliberate fashion to make sure they get it right. Let's see what the call. It looks like they're going to take the penalty, John.
We have encroachment on the defense. Repeat 3rd down.
All right, so it'll be 3rd down now and 9 from the 46-yard line. Otherwise, they would have had a 4th down and 2 from the Quincy High School 47.
Yeah, so with a 3rd and 9, North's got some options. They're over here in the right hash mark. They throw 3 receivers over to the left side, and they've got Staley alone in the backfield.
Stanton looking to pass, looking up to his left side. Looking downfield for Valpondo, and it goes incomplete. Looked like Anthony Raz got a hand on it to tip it away from Valpondo. So bring up 4th and long. North Quincy will now punt.
Yeah, Raditz over there on the coverage, and Gozi Agugwo. Agugwo, the guy who put the big hit on Paul Reamer. And as we said, the thing that most impressed me, of course, the hit was the hit, and you have to tip your hat to Agugwo on that one, but the fact that Reamer got right up and stayed on the field.
All right, so Pat Watkins for North Quincy will be punting, and back to receive for the Presidents is 88, Anthony Raditz at his 19-yard line. Nice kick by Watkins, and Raditz comes up and fumbles the ball, and North Quincy's going to recover it, Jim.
So the first turnover of the ball game goes Red Raiders' way. Raditz had a little trouble handling a knuckleball punt by Watkins. And I think he was trying to side saddle a little bit and see if he couldn't get a run back going, John. If you watch the replay, watch the ball as it leaves. Well, we're not going to see that. Let's see. We're going to see, yeah, he tried to come up on it. The ball died on Raditz a little more quickly than he thought it would. That's what happened. He was not trying to run it back. You could see at the end of that play, a nice shot from our north camera at the 20-yard line, that Raditz just came up on the ball a little late. First turnover goes North Quincy's way. Red Raiders 1st and 10.
All right, Terrence Staley gets a handoff for North Quincy. He breaks free from the tackles, over to the left side, gets up to the 25-yard line. Sean Gray puts a stop to that to make sure he does not get any further. So nice tackle there by the Quincy High School captain. And I'll bring up now a 2nd down and 5 for the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, not just a nice tackle. That was a super tackle and a potentially a big play-saving one as well. Gray's the guy we talked about earlier. He lines up in the middle of the field, but he chases down running backs who you would think would be faster than him. And there, Terrence Staley, if he had got outside, there was a lot of green in front of him. So great tackle by Gray. It's 2nd and 6 for the Red Raiders, John.
All right, Stan's going to hand the ball off to Watkins, and he got hit in his backfield by his own man, number 73, Joe Benoit. So unfortunate there for North Quincy, and it looks like it's going to be a no gain.
Yeah, Benoit a little frustrated there. I think the play was designed to go outside the tackle. Benoit was a pulling guard. I'm not sure if he's a guard or a tackle. Let's take a look at that. But anyway, he was pulling from the left side of the offensive line, trying to get out ahead and block. Watkins saw something upfield and cut it back, but when he did so, he tripped on Benoit, who's actually the left guard. So,
all right, so it'll be 3rd down and 6 still. Stanton back to pass over to his right side. Valpondo has it. Has the 1st down and more. Gets up to the 10-yard line, and he's knocked out of bounds now at the 8. So 1st down and goal for North Quincy. Great run and catch there by Joe Valpondo.
Oh, big 1st down for the Red Raiders. And as you said, watch this replay and watch how Valpondo handles the ball. And this is what we talk about field conditions and weather today. He just received that beautifully, turns it upfield, picks up about 5 or 8 yards after the reception. And the Red Raiders are fired up here as they're in the red zone. First time a team has been in the red zone here with 8:52 to go, John. And Quincy gets a timeout.
We should also give credit to Nosy Agugwa, number 24, the safety for Quincy High School, coming up and making that diving tackle. Otherwise, Watkins would have been in the end zone for 6 points for North Quincy High School. So 8:52 left to go here in the first half, still scoreless, but North Quincy is threatening at the Quincy High School 8-yard line.
Yeah, this is the first threat, and now with the sun a little low on the horizon here, you can see that not on that camera shot. There you see Coach Connor. He's talking to the guys up in the booth here about options as they're in the red zone. But the sun, when we go back to our shot from Grace Busher, you're going to see is going to be a little less of a factor here because of the trees in the south side of the field that are between, the tall pines between the south end zone and the MBTA lot. They're blocking the sun a bit, so that's going to change the conditions a little bit for quarterback Mike Stanton, who's going to have a clearer look at his receivers. Ball on the right hash mark, John.
All right, 1st and goal now for the Raiders. Handoff goes to Watkins over to the left side, cuts it back in the middle, gets across to the 4-yard line. Still on his feet, falls forward, and they're going to spot him at the 2-yard line. Great run by Pat Watkins. He got hit at the 6, but ends up at the 2.
Yeah, Watkins, Valpondo, and Donahue are 3 guys who just do not accept that first hit when they're out there. They'll take the hit, but they won't go down. And Watkins could smell the end zone there. North Quincy looking to get its first lead in about 5.5 years on Thanksgiving Day. Watch the run here, John. Watkins keeps driving up. Nice job there. And now back to live action.
Handoff goes to Staley, and he goes into the end zone for 6 points. North Quincy gets on the board first. 6-0 Raiders.
Nice drive by the Red Raiders, sparked by the turnover. And North Quincy finally makes Quincy pay here. They've had great field position after several defensive stands. But on the turnover, the Red Raiders drive the ball in, and they're going to take the lead on Thanksgiving Day here with 8 minutes to go.
All right, North lines up for the extra point. Stanton will be doing the holding, and kicking is number 38, Shea Odusuye. All right, kick is up, and it is good. So teams come back downfield with 8 minutes left to go in the second quarter. North Quincy 7, the Presidents 0.
Yeah, nice job there by holder Mike Stanton. He took the snap from long snapper Joe Edgerly, and they put the ball through. So North Quincy with its first lead in a long time in this series, 7-0. Big touchdown for the Red Raiders. We'll have to see how the Quincy High offense handles this, John. Coach Reardon over there, he's got them all huddled up, the special teams gang, and fired up here. We know Anthony Raditz will shake things off. He's out on the field all game and doesn't really have time to dwell on any particular thing, but Raditz will be back here for this kickoff, and you know he's fired up for redemption.
There's some other big games happening in Eastern Massachusetts, including in the Patriot League. One of the big ones, Duxbury is taking on Marshfield at Marshfield, a game of 2 league winners. Marshfield comes into that game with a record of 9-1, Duxbury 10-0. Both teams will be going to the playoffs. Marshfield Division 1A, Duxbury Division 2A. Duxbury got to the playoffs by defeating Hanover in the Patriot League championship game that was held a couple of weeks ago. That was the first and supposedly the only game. Next year, both divisions of the Patriot League will be getting playoff berths. All right, so short kick, and ball is still loose, and North Quincy's going to get it, Jim. There was another squib kick by North Quincy. Quincy High School's front line could not handle it, and North Quincy's going to take over again, this time on the Quincy 40-yard line.
All right, now this is where the issue we talked about earlier comes into play, and that is fatigue. The Quincy defense has to stay on the field now after a couple of tough series here. Watch the replay on the squib. There it's mishandled initially, and you understand why. It was quite a shot right at the front lineman. Looks like it was covered by number 48 for the Red Raiders. We don't have him
It's
here.
Terrell Staley.
It was, I beg your pardon, Staley, the captain. He's at the top of my roster.
All right, flag throw on the play, and this play is going to be whistle dead. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a false start on North Quincy. Handoff went to Watkins, but it was blown dead as soon as he got the ball.
Yeah, nice job by Terrell Staley. I'm sorry that I missed that. Martin pointing out.
We have a dead ball foul.
There, so.
Legal procedure on the offense. Still first down. Right out.
Talking as the kickoff approached there, that the Quincy defense has been out on the field a lot here in this first half. In terms of time of possession, North Quincy's had the ball just about 9 minutes now, and several of the players in the white shirts going both ways. So they've got to suck it up here and come up with a stop. This is an important juncture in this game. Presidents don't want to let the Red Raiders get away from them here.
So first and 15 now from the 45-yard line, from the Quincy 45-yard line. And handoff goes to Pat Watkins, but he is stopped immediately there. And getting up off the bottom of the pile for Quincy High School, number 33, Zach Manning.
Yeah, great hit by Manning. He just completely wrapped up Watkins. He got him right at the knees and wrapped him up. Watkins tried to spin out of the tackle but couldn't. Very sure-handed tackling by number 33, as you said, for Quincy, a guy we've talked about a lot this year, Zach Manning.
All right, so a gain of 1 on that play. Second down and 14 now for the Raiders at the Quincy High School 44-yard line. 7 minutes and 9 seconds left to go in the first half. Staying in play action fake. Looking for Paul Reamer downfield. Has a man and cannot connect. Reamer laid out for it. Got behind Agugo, the safety, but the ball was just overthrown by Stanton.
Yeah, nice ball by Stanton. Stanton could see that developing. If you watch the replay, Stanton is going to look Agugo off. He's looking out into the flat to his left. Agugo bit on the look, and Rima got behind him. And after that replay, at the end of it, you see Ngozi banging his helmet. He got away with one, and he knows it. Red Raiders almost with a big strike there to Reamer. So Quincy defense holding thus far. It's a 3rd and 14 with 7 minutes to go in the half, and this would be a big, big stop for the Presidents if they can execute it here, John.
The Quincy Rush had some credit in that last play as well. Stanton had plenty of time and was waiting until the last second to hit to hit the man downfield. But he had to throw the ball just a second too early, and that caused for the overthrow, and Reamer could not get to it. So bring up a third down now for North Quincy, 3rd and 14. North Quincy had called a timeout. Coach Jim Connor brings his team to the sideline to discuss some things here with 7:01 left to go. North on top by a score of 7-0.
Yeah, the offense, although their last drive got them into the end zone, the offense has just not found its rhythm yet, John. As we said, they've got a lot of weapons out there, but they just haven't been able to get them all firing. And a lot of credit goes to the young men in the white shirts. There's a shot of the north huddle, but on the south side of the field, this Quincy defense. There they are. You see big number 7 in the middle of the picture. But all those guys have really done a terrific job here in this first half of battling against the Red Raiders. Red Raiders have been in the Quincy side of the field on 4 occasions, and the Presidents have really done a good job, the defense, of battling them and keeping them off the scoreboard, but for the 1 touchdown.
All right, so North lines up. 2 receivers to the left of Staten, 1 to the right. Staten back to pass, looking downfield, fires across the middle. Ball is tipped away, and it was almost caught by Reamer. Ball was intended for Joe Valpondo, got tipped up, and Paul Reamer came inches from catching that ball.
Yeah, nice coverage by Brian McGee and number 36, James Nguyen. McGee did not bite on the look away. Stanton did a good job of looking away there, and McGee didn't bite, and North Quincy in punt formation. They're going to be punting away to Raditz again.
Raditz at his own 10-yard line. And bad snap. Watkins is trying to get it. He's going to have to fall on it. And Quincy's going to have a great field position here. Watkins could not handle the snap. It was on the ground. And coming up to make the hit, Mark Gilbody brings him down at the North Quincy 42. And that's where the Presidents will take over.
Yeah, the snap came up about a yard short there. Watkins did a good job of handling it cleanly, John. Otherwise, that could have been really costly. He picked the ball up. He ran it out. He got it out to about the 42. But the Presidents, with their best field position, they're going to start at the Red Raider 42. And here's a shot for Quincy to give the offense to give themselves a little boost here. 1st and 10 from the 42.
Trips receivers in the left slot. Handoff goes to Tim Lewis over to the right side, and coming up and making a huge hit for North Quincy. Looked like it was number 55, the captain. Actually, it's number 65, Colin Hayes for North Quincy.
Yeah, Hayes is a guy who we really love. If you watch the replay here, they give the ball to Lewis, and now watch. Bang. There's the hit.
Lewis had a couple blockers out in front of him, too.
Yeah, that might have been R.J. Barden out there. We're not sure. Hayes and Barden are 2 guys who are always around the ball.
All right, so no gain for the Presidents. 2nd down and 10. Manning's going to go in motion from left to right. Play action fake. Peterson back to pass and finds Sean Gray in the flat. Nice block by Raditz. And Gray's going to get across the 30 up to the 26-yard line. And a great block by Raditz to help spring Sean Gray.
Yeah, a beautifully designed play. Raditz lined up on the left. If you watch the replay real quickly, Raditz is going to clear out this whole left side. Gray is the tight end. He's in tight. He fakes the block. He gets out in the flat, and look how open he is. There's the big block you talked about, John. But Gray rumbles down just outside of the 25. It's President's 1st and 10 from the 26 with 5:55 to go in the half.
I believe that's the first down for the Presidents here today. Peterson looking for Gray again, and Gray makes a spectacular catch right over there for the tackles. Number 45, Terrence Staley for the Raiders. But Gray came up with a great catch, and it's going to be a gain of 2 or 3 on the play.
Yeah, Staley there on the coverage. He did not play the ball. He played the man the whole way if you watch the replay. Staley's never looking at the ball. Here it is. They're looking again for Gray, and watch him. He plays the ball the man the whole way. Makes a good solid tackle on the tight end. So nice job by Terrence Staley. Let's make sure we get them right. We've got Terrell and Terrence. We got Terrence on that hit on Sean Gray. Going to bring up a 2nd and 8.
Raditz goes wide left. Lewis in the backfield. Going to give it to Lewis up the middle. Gets up to the 20-yard line where he's brought down. Nice run there by Tim Lewis. And it'll bring up now a 3rd down and short. We'll call it 3rd down and 3 for the Presidents.
Yeah, Owen Kilcullen and R.J. Barden in on that hit. And Lewis is a boatload, too, I'll tell you that. When you hit Lewis, you feel it after. So, nice job by Kilcullen there. Barden trying to fire up the crowd here. The ball is at the 20. Quincy has its first shot at entering the red zone here. 3rd down and 4. Big play for the Quincy offense, John.
4:25 left to go now in the first half. Full house backfield for the Presidents. Play action fake. Looking downfield, and it is picked off by Paul Reamer. Pass was intended for Pat Fernandez. He was open, but Reamer closed quickly and makes the pick.
I'll tell you what, Reamer and Velpondo were over there. Watch the replay, and what a sensationally athletic play by Paul Reamer. I think I should just say sensational athletic play. Look at Reamer get up there, tips the ball, stays with it, makes the reception. Big play by Reamer. Red Raider offense takes over inside the 5 at about the 3. They've got to be conservative here, John. No turnovers here.
Handoff goes right up the middle. Watkins gets the carry. He's going to get up to about the 6-yard line, so a gain of 2.
That was a huge turnover, I'll tell you, because Quincy marching down in a very methodical drive, looking to tie the game up and looking to do so late in the half. That would have been a huge touchdown or a huge score, whatever it was, because they've got Gilbody as well. Whatever they could have done if they could have scored would have been huge for the Presidents. And when I say Gilbody, Mark Gilbody is a talented field goal kicker for the Presidents and a weapon once they get inside the 20.
All right, Watkins again on the carry, goes up the middle and is going to go nowhere. Might get a gain of 1, but was met by the Presidents' defensive line.
Yeah, but one thing you note here, John, is Coach Connor, as opposed to going with a normal running back rotation, he left Watkins, the sure-handed Watkins, the senior, who's a powerful running back. He left him in there, and Patrick running it right up the gut. As we said, the North offense has to be very conservative and make sure they remain error-free here. North having trouble getting a play in, and this is a little bit problematic.
Well,
they
the
cannot
clock
pick
stopped.
up a penalty here.
The clock stops. I don't know if someone called a timeout. Might have missed it. All right, we're being told down the truck that it was an official timeout.
So North taking advantage of that, apparently. I stand corrected. Now they've got Staley in the backfield alone with 3 receivers.
3rd down and 6. Stanton passes, and it is almost picked off by Anthony Raditz. He jumped the route. Pass was intended for Paul Reamer, and if Raditz had come down with that, he would have had a pick 6.
I'll tell you what, though, that's 2 great athletes over there, Reamer and Raditz. And Reamer went quickly from intended receiver to defensive back on that play. He knocked the ball down and made sure that Raditz did not pick it off. Nice play by Anthony. He's showing what an athlete can do when they keep their head in the game, John. Rather than getting discouraged by that earlier turnover, Anthony's continued to focus and play hard. Makes a big play there. Good job.
All right, North Quincy's going to call a timeout. They're going to be forced to punt. Ball is at their own 8-yard line, and Pat Watkins is going to stand 5 yards deep in the end zone. Back to receive for the Presidents is Anthony Raditz, and he's going to be at the North Quincy 45-yard line.
Yeah, this is going to be a big play. You recall the earlier snap was a little errant, a little bit of pressure on long snapper Joe Edgley here as Joe and Watkins have to execute. They're down inside their 10, and this is going to be an important snap and an important punt for the Red Raiders.
All right, good snap. And it's almost blocked by the Presidents.
What a punt.
Raditz is going to field it at the North Quincy 43-yard line. Goes up the middle, over to the left side now. Gets across the 25-yard line. Stays in bounds. And they're going to know. He said he stepped out of bounds. He was tiptoeing the sideline. And he goes out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Either way, great field position for the Presidents and a great return by Raditz. A 22-yard return.
Yeah, we got to give great credit to Joe Edgley. Perfect snap, as you said. The pressure was on, and Watkins got a great punt away. Patrick is on the field injured right now, just inside the 30. We're sorry to see that. If you watch this replay, watch the snap by Edgley. It's right on Watkins. He gets the punt away. It's downfield. Now watch the run by Raditz. He's going to come right up. He's got 4 guys he's looking at, and he splits them right up the middle. Great job. Now he's going down the sideline, and that's where he steps out. And that's the end of the play. He had already heard a whistle by the time that little fumble occurred, so that was not really a factor. But this could be a big loss for the Red Raiders, John. Pat Watkins still down on the field. We didn't see what happened to him on the replay. Fortuitously, it looks like he's got both arms out. I don't know if he got the wind knocked out of him or what, but they're picking up his mouth guard off the field, so that could be what it was. He might have taken a big pop here and he's having trouble breathing.
There's 3:01 left to go in the first half. North Quincy on top by a score of 7-0. And as we pan across the end zone of the north end zone, you can see all the fans standing right in the end zone there, right behind the end zone, excuse me. Great crowd. We saw earlier in the first quarter, with about 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter, fans are still filtering in to the stadium. And there's a fantastic turnout here today, Jim. It's a beautiful day, and that's certainly accounting for a lot of the turnout.
Watkins gets up and walks off the field under his own power. We'll try to watch him along the sidelines and see if we can identify it. It looks like he's favoring one of his legs, but I think Patrick just took a real shot. And now what they're going to do is they're going to try to get him over to sit down, and hopefully he'll recover now and over halftime.
All right, back to the field now. Quincy takes over at the North Quincy 22-yard line. Peterson got pitch it to the right to Tim Lewis. Gets over to the 20 and gets brought down now at the 18-yard line. So Quincy now into the red zone, trying to get some points on the board here. And Lance Peterson's coming off the field. He's limping off the field. Number 12. Looked like he might have twisted an ankle there.
Didn't see that play, but saw Brian Donahue make the stop on Lewis. So in at quarterback is the guy we love, Kenny Nguyen. We normally see him as a defensive back, but he's going to run the offense here for the Presidents. North Quincy, what are we doing here?
Time was called down the field, and I don't know if it was a North Quincy timeout or a Quincy timeout. And North Quincy called a timeout there. That's their third timeout of the first half. We saw Kenny Nguyen, the new quarterback now for Quincy High School, come in at the end of the Randolph game. So he does have some experience coming in. He is the backup quarterback. He was able to get some snaps in their last game. So he is fresh, ready to come into the ball game. Again, Lance Peterson, the quarterback for Quincy High School, on the last play, went to the sidelines with it looked like a twisted ankle.
Statistician Martin Dunham has just reported that Tim Lewis has 27 yards on 8 carries. Martin showing good instincts as we think Lewis is going to be the man here in the next several plays.
All right, ball was fumbled, but Quincy picks it back up, and they're going to go for a pass. Wide open in the end zone was Raditz, but it looked like Nguyen, who got the ball back, just couldn't get the pass over to him. Raditz was open, though.
Well, great call by Reardon. Let me tell you something. You have a quarterback come in to step in for your injured starter, and the first thing that the guys in black, the coaching staff for the Raiders, tell their players is, be ready for the run. Instead, we see a double reverse flea flicker, and great call by Reardon. It was a difficult play to execute for the Presidents. As you said, Raditz was open in the end zone, but when Nguyen took the toss, he hurried the pass, and it just wasn't there. So looks like North Quincy calling another timeout. This is a very, very critical series here with 2:14 to go in the half. Red Raiders fighting hard to try to keep Quincy off the board. The Presidents looking to try to get in. They're in the red zone. So this is a critical third down play for both teams, John.
2:14 left to go in the second quarter. North on top by a score of 7-0. You can see on your screen now Captain Pat Watkins being attended to by the trainer.
Yeah, they're checking his rib area out. I think he just took a big, big pop, and he is trying to shake it off. He is one tough kid. We talked particularly about Watkins and Donahue, along with Valpondo, as being guys who really set the tone for the Red Raiders in terms of their toughness. And hopefully, over the course of halftime, Pat Watkins is going to be able to shake off this injury and get back in this ball game.
All right, so a big play down for Quincy High School. It's going to be 3rd down and 7. Ball spotted at the North Quincy 19-yard line. Lance Peterson is back in the game after that one play off. Trips receivers to the left in the slot. Raditz is wide to the right. Tim Lewis in the backfield for the Presidents. Peterson back to pass, looking to his left. He's hit as he throws, and pass intended for Zach Manning. But I've got to give credit there to number 40 for North Quincy High School coming up and making the hit, Tommy Petiti.
Yeah, Petiti was the story on that play. He came charging through, and boy, did he put a hit on Lance Peterson. Watch this replay, and watch number 40, Tommy Petiti, come in. He's going to come right up the gut. Nice call by the North defense. He found the gap from his linebacker spot, went in unabated, and got a blast on Peterson. So that brings up a big fourth down here. 4th and 7 from the 19 for the Presidents.
All right, Quincy comes out. Raditz goes wide right. Gilbody wide to the left. Looking over the middle for Sean Gray. Open the end zone. Touchdown, Presidents!
Oh, what a pass by Peterson.
Gray,
right on the numbers.
Gray got behind the defensive back from his tight end position, and he goes in for the touchdown. And as you said, Peterson had a perfect touch pass, and Quincy gets back into the ball game now and can tie the game after the point after.
Let's watch the replay here as the Presidents set up. Gray, number 7, goes right out, gets behind the linebacker. He's open. Great job by Sean Gray. They normally have him delay on the line. That time he fired off the line and got behind the linebacker quickly. And a beautiful pass by Peterson. Presidents on the board with a big score. And here's the potential game-tying point after.
So our score says 7-6. Actually, it is corrected. It was 7-7, not tied just yet. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up. And it is no good. Wide to the right goes the kick.
Well, Red Raiders pick up a small victory there. They will retain the lead 7-6 in this first half, but with 2 minutes to go here, going to see if the Red Raiders special teams and offense can't come up with something to give the boys in black a little bit of a boost. That was a huge drive by the Presidents, John. It's a first half where the edge has really gone to the Red Raiders. They've had the better field position, the better opportunities, and they punched in that first score. For the Presidents to score right at the end of the half as they did, that was just huge. Big, big play by Peterson and Gray teaming up for that touchdown.
All right, so 7-6 is our score with 2:01 left to go in the first half. North still on top. We want to thank you for watching QATV's coverage of the 76th annual Thanksgiving Day matchup between the Quincy Presidents and the North Quincy Red Raiders.
It's going to be replayed today, isn't it?
I was going to say, yeah, the game will be replayed on QATV Channel 8 later on today. Also, you can catch the replays this weekend and other replays throughout the week. Log on to QATV's website at QATV.org for a full replay schedule. All right, Quincy High School comes out with a squib kick of their own. It hits the up lineman for North.
Tommy Petiti again.
And he's able to jump on it at the 49-yard line of North Quincy, and that's where they'll take over.
So great job by Petiti. He's finishing out the first half in style here, making some big plays for the Red Raiders. Tommy, only a junior. We'll be talking about him again next year. But he's had a solid first half for the Red Raiders. He made the big hit on Peterson on third down. Covers that little squib kick here. So the Red Raiders have great field position with 1:59 to go. Plenty of time on the clock for this offense.
All right, Presidents show blitz. They jump back, and it looked like we may have now have a false start on North Quincy. We'll see what it was called.
Yeah, I think that's going to go against number 84, Trevor Richardson, the tight end. I think he jumped in response to the Quincy players.
The dead ball foul, legal procedure, number 84 on the black.
Yeah, Quincy was showing blitz, and they were trying to time the snap. Came in and could not time it correctly. But number 84, as you said, reacting to the Quincy High School, as you see on the replay here.
Watch the replay here. Yep, there you see Richardson. There's the penalty. If the defensive player does not make contact with the offensive player, they can stunt like that and then get back on sides. It's incumbent on the offensive player to hold his position, and Trevor jumped.
Stephon Davis, number 30, was the man who came in from the right side on the blitz. So 1st and 15, handoff goes now to Terrence Staley. He gets across up the middle. Nice run there by Terrence Staley. Gets across the 50 into Quincy territory, up now to the Quincy High School 47-yard line.
Yeah, great first down play for the Red Raiders. He picked up a little over 9 yards there. And that's a nice run by Terrence Staley. We saw Pat Watkins go into the locker room there ahead of the team. He really looks like he got his bell rung. He did not look good, John. And as we said, he's a tough guy. I'm not sure that we're going to see him back because he really looked like he was a little disoriented and definitely banged up.
Looked like there was a penalty called on the play. Did not see the flag thrown, but they're moving the ball back.
Block in the back, it looks like.
Hey, look what we got him. Let's go. We have a legal block in the back on the offense. Repeat first down.
Well, that's unfortunate. Red Raiders looking to make something happen here in the final 2 minutes, but with 1:44 to go, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot after a nice run by Staley. It's going to bring the ball back inside their 35 to the 34-yard line, losing significant field position. The clock running now. Raiders got to move it a little quicker offensively here if they want to make something happen before the half.
All right, so first and long for the Rays. Handoff goes up the middle to Staley. Ball was all the way back to the North Quincy High School 34-yard line.
Little quick hitter there. Now the Red Raiders got to be cautious. Quincy's calling timeouts here with the field position situation and what the Raiders are doing on offense. Coach Bill Reardon looking for a shot here to get the ball back.
It was a 5-yard gain by the Raiders up to the 39-yard line. They'll still bring up a second down and long now. Second down and 20.
I don't get a feeling of a sense of urgency by the Red Raiders, John. I thought they'd want to come right back here against the Presidents and deliver a little message going to the locker room. But right now, all the momentum is Quincy's way right now. The Presidents are all fired up. They're the ones calling the timeouts, trying to stop the clock. And the Red Raiders are looking at second and more than 20, or is it 20? Second and 20 here.
All right, ball at the North Quincy 39-yard line. Handoff goes to Valpondo over to the right side. Gets across up to the 50. Big run here by Valpondo. And he's going to get tackled now on the Quincy High School 46-yard line.
Now that's the type of energy they need. Great leadership by Valpondo. Turn the ball up the right side. There's an athlete down for Quincy. I think it's Kenny. No, it's not Kenny Nguyen. It's number 24 for the Presidents. Down on the play is Gozi Agugwo. That could be a big loss to the Presidents if he's out of action here. He's their free safety, their deep guy. He's getting up on his own, and it looks like he's going to walk off the field. He's favoring his right arm greatly here. That's a big loss in this final minute 5 because Agugwo is kind of the quarterback for the Presidents on defense.
It was a 16-yard gain by Valpondo. I think we're going to see in the replay here,
I think
Jim.
we better see the replay, John. Here's the replay. Watch Valpondo turn it up. Great job there. Fighting off tackles. Big run. He picked up 8 yards after the first hit. That's what we love about Joe Valpondo.
You can see there at the end of the play, too, Agugwo came in with looked like his right shoulder to make the tackle, and that might have shaken him up a little bit. So third down and 5 for North. Stanton back to pass. Looking downfield, and it is incomplete, but we're going to have a pass interference penalty called on Anthony Ratz for the Presidents. So North Quincy will pick up the automatic first down.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if Reamer was actually knocked down or he added a little gusto to it, but Reamer went down like he had been shot. And it was a little out and up pattern. Great call by the Red Raider coaching staff in light of the fact that Agugwo had just gone out of the game. They were testing the new safety for the Presidents right away. And on the out and up pattern, as you said, Raditz got caught up with Reamer and he went down. We're going to hear
We have defensive pass interference. Automatic first down.
So it's an automatic first down. If you watch the replay here, watch the top of the screen. You're going to see the little pump fake by Stanton. And now watch Reamer go down there like he had been shot. A great job by Paul Reamer. Frankly, I think he might have seen that the ball was about 8 yards downfield. And he added a little bit of gusto to his dive, but I'm sure it was only in furtherance of getting the call there. So the Red Raiders now at the 26-yard line of the Presidents, John. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Little bit of excitement by the Red Raider offense, all spearheaded by the Valpondo run.
Ends up being a 20-yard penalty against Quincy High School. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Raiders at the Quincy High School 26-yard line.
As you see with clock camp, 47.8 to go.
All right, they're readjusting the chains now, it looks like. They want to make sure they get the spot right. Right now, the yard mark is at the 26. The ball was at the 46-yard line.
What do we think about Shea Adyasayan as far as a field goal kicker? How far back can he, where's he got to be before he can kick, would you say, John?
Honestly, I'm not sure, Jim. Maybe Martin can give us an idea about that.
20 to 23-yard capacity, reports our statistician, Martin Dunham. So that would mean we'd have to get the ball to about the 15 before we're going to see Shea in field goal, or the Red Raiders in field goal position.
All right, looks like the officials marked the ball incorrectly. They had marked it as a 20-yard penalty, but I thought it was supposed to be a 15-yard penalty, and it was. It was a 15-yard penalty against Quincy High School. So the ball's at the 31-yard line.
Agugwo back out there for the Presidents.
Stand back to pass and was looking for Terrence Staley, but it falls incomplete. But even if he had caught it right there was Zach Manning for the Presidents to make the hit.
Yeah, big hit, broke up the play. Going to be a 2nd and 10. Clock stops with 42.3. Got to give credit to Agugwo. He's back out there. He still looks a little dinged up. He's shaking the right arm, but the Presidents need him out there in his leadership defensively, John.
All right, so 2nd down and 10 now for the Raiders. 42 seconds left to go in the first half.
Got Reamer and Jay wide right.
Standing back to pass, looking down to his right. Comes back over the middle and hits Paul Reamer for the big completion. Ball's loose on the field, though. We'll see if they say he goes down.
Saying he was down.
And they're going to say he was down when he fumbled the ball. So a huge play for North Quincy, and it's going to be 1st and goal from the 10.
Oh, you got to love Paul Reamer, John. He's the guy who got popped coming over the middle. And Red Raiders have got to get into their hurry-up. They may be out of timeouts, I'm not sure. Well, nope, they've got one left, and they've called it now. Unfortunately, they have not been able to get plays into the offense. The clock started to run, and so they had to call the timeout. They've not been able to get plays into their offense quickly, so they're down at the 10. They've got to get their offensive house in order here with 31 seconds to go. And that's what they're doing on the sidelines. They call the timeout. I'm sure they're going to call several plays here, and I'm sure that most of them will be passes. But I want to talk briefly about Reamer on that last play, John. If you recall, early in the first quarter, he took that huge hit by Agugwo. While he was running the exact same pattern there, he was triple-teamed, but he made the catch. He held on. Huge play by Reamer, and we give great credit to the seniors, Valpondo and Reamer, showing some leadership here, getting the Red Raiders down the field with 32 seconds to go.
That last play was a 21-yard pass from Stanton to Reamer, and Stanton is now 4 for 10 for 57 yards on the day for North Quincy High School.
Can watch the replay. They have it queued up in the truck, we know, so we have some time here. And if you watch this replay, watch Reamer. It's going to come from the right of the screen. Nice ball by Stanton. Look at that come firing through, and Reamer takes the hit, protects the ball. He's down, and the ball got stripped. Give credit to the Quincy Presidents for staying in the play all the way there and looking to get the strip on that. But the officials correctly ruled that Reamer was down.
All right, so here we go. 1st and 10 now for North. 1st and goal from the 10 for North Quincy. 31 seconds left to go. Stanton back to pass, looking to his right, and it is great play there.
Wow.
Brian McGee saves a touchdown for Quincy High School. McGee jumped up and knocked that ball away. Pass was intended for Matt Jay, who was wide open in the end zone.
Matt Jay open in the corner. Ball was coming his way. And as you say, a great play by number 22, a guy we talked about a lot this season. Or
Number 2, Brian
number
McGee.
2, Brian McGee. I'm sorry. I just can't say enough about Kenny Nguyen, I guess. But Brian McGee made the play. And the earlier play was made by Stephon Davis. He's the guy who made the strip there. A guy who he plays linebacker for the Presidents, but he got back on coverage on that play.
All right, 2nd and goal now from the 10. Stanton back to pass, rolling out to his right. And it's going to dump it down to Terrence Staley in the flat. But again, over there was Brian McGee to make the hit. Pass goes incomplete.
22 seconds to go. Red Raiders are in field goal position here. Field goal range, I should say. They're over on the left hash mark right now. That's why they're running everything to the right side. They're trying to go to the wide end of the field to give their quarterback more options. But right now, the Red Raiders offense has just, for whatever reason, John, they have not found their rhythm. It's in part the President defense. You have to tip your hat to them. But they just have not been able to make plays in the first half. They've got a shot here to make a big one with 22 seconds to go. This is an important 3rd down play for the Red Raiders.
On that last play, Matt Jay was streaking across the back of the end zone, but Mike Stanton could not find him, and Jay was open, but Stanton had to go to the flat instead. So 3rd and goal now for North from the Quincy High School 10-yard line. Stanton's back to pass. He's going to get sacked. Actually, no, he passes the ball to Jay.
Jay's knee was down when he received it.
Yeah, so Jay was down. Kenny Nguyen came in on the corner blitz.
He actually lost.
All right, North Quincy has no timeouts, Jim. They're going to try to get the play up before the clock runs out. 5 seconds left to go. They're going to try to get it off. It's going to be very tight here. They just get it off. Good snap. Kick is up. And it is good.
As the clock goes to 0. Big field goal. Great execution by the boys on special teams. That's a huge play for the Red Raiders. And you give great credit to Mike Stanton there, who was directing traffic as time ran out. Super execution by Red Raiders special teams. Edgley with a snap. Stanton got the ball down. He was very discouraged that as quarterback he didn't get the boys in the end zone, but he showed some great leadership there, though, setting up the special teams to execute that field goal as time ran out in the half, John.
Yeah, it was 4th down, so they could not spike the ball. They had to go for the kick, and they snapped the ball with about 1.5 seconds left to go. And Shea Adeduse, went up there and made the kick. And North Quincy now has a 10-6 lead as we go into halftime at the 76th annual Thanksgiving Day game here at the stadium. All right, well, we're going to take a timeout, Jim and I, here in the booth. And, again, 10-6, North Quincy on top. We'll be back with second half coverage in a little while. No. Welcome back, everyone, here at the stadium for the 76th annual Thanksgiving Day football game between the Presidents and the Red Raiders. We're at the half. The Raiders are on top by a score of 10-6. Captains were just down the field to begin the second half. Real quick, we'll go over some stats from the first half. Mike Stanton, the quarterback from North Quincy High School, had 54 yards on 5 of 13 passing. Joe Valpondo had 23 yards rushing. Terrence Staley had 16. North Quincy had 29 yards total. For receptions, Matt Jay had 2 receptions for 19. Reamer had 1 for 21. And Valpondo 1 for 17. Total offense, 31 plays, 83 yards. For Quincy High School, Lance Peterson, 3 for 6, 37 yards with a touchdown and a pick. For rushing, Tim Lewis had 27 yards. Sean Gray had 37 yards through the air and a touchdown. Quincy High School had 68 yards of total offense. Time of possession in favor of North Quincy, 12 minutes, 45 seconds to 9 minutes and 15 seconds for Quincy High School.
Well, I'll tell you what, John, one little issue. Over on the sideline, I was looking right away for Pat Watkins. He was down talking with someone, I presume to be his father. I think that Patrick wants to get out there and play. I'm sure his parents are very concerned for him. So we'll see what happens. But number 5 is on the sidelines with his helmet on, and I think he wants to get in the game, so I'm sure we're going to see him at some point. Red Raiders, who had deferred, are going to take the ball, John, to start the second half, and we're underway. Big second half here, Thanksgiving Day.
All right, fielded by Staley at the 20-yard line. He's going to get up to the 37-yard line. That was Terrence Staley, on the carry for North Quincy. So
Red Raiders are going to start with decent field position at the 37. Let's see if the offense can't come out and get their rhythm going here, John. As we said in the first half, the President defense played very well. They kept North Quincy off balance, but North Quincy shot itself in the foot on more than one occasion. We'll see if they can't get going here in this second half. Then the other big question is the durability of the guys in white. A lot of them going both ways. A lot of them have played a lot of football in what was a long first half. And although it's the last half of the season for them, we're going to see if, the boys can stand up. In particular, there are several names out there. We're going to look at number 7, Sean Gray there. You see him in the middle of the field at about the 40-yard line. Sean, the captain, who's been on the field for most of the game here. And he's got to be tired. And he's one of the guys we'll be watching to see how their conditioning holds up here in this second half.
All right, so 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Handoff goes to Valpond over to the right side. And he's met there by James Newigan at the 40-yard line where he's brought down.
Little off-tackle run for about a 4-yard gain. We had trouble getting the chain crew together. All kinds of folks having trouble getting started up here after the halftime festivities. We're getting things off to a slow start in several areas, but the chain crew had to get reestablished over there on the far sideline and delayed the start of the second half a bit. Stanton under center with an I formation. They give it to Valpondo again, John.
Yeah, and a huge hit there by Sean Gray right at the 40-yard line. So it's going to be for a no gain. So bring up now a 3rd down and 7 for North Quincy as we begin to hit the third quarter.
If Grace can pan back a little bit and catch the sideline, Coach Connor is over here giving a play. And you see down there, number 5, right there. He is eager to get back in the game. But the coaching staff is holding him so far. I mean, I said earlier, Pat Watkins is one tough young man. And we know he got his bell rung. He's on the sidelines, eager to get back in the game, John.
All right, so 3rd and 7 for the Raiders. Stanton's going to go back to pass. Looking to his left. He fires, and it is almost picked off by Anthony Raditz. That's the second time today Raditz has jumped a route, and it almost picked off both.
Raditz jumping the pattern again. He read it beautifully. It's a little down and out route run by number 21, Paul Reamer. Coaching staff and quarterback Mike Stanton have great confidence that he can execute it, and he can. But Raditz has been all over that pattern a couple of times, John, and he jumped it again successfully there.
All right, so North will be forced to punt. Anthony Raditz is back. Low snap, but North's able to get it off. Tommy Petiti doing the kicking for North Quincy. And it goes out of bounds at the Quincy High School 41-yard line. Flag is on the field, though.
Nice job by Petiti. He kicked it away from Raditz, taking the conservative route. I know that one of the issues Watkins had, he had injured his right leg, and that might affect his ability to punt here.
Have a legal motion on the offense.
I think it was number 45 who had moved. He had split up wide left, and then just prior to the snap, he came back in tight. And so that's going to force the Red Raiders to punt again. Coaching staff for Quincy, Coach Reardon is telling Anthony Raditz to get up a bit. Raditz is back at about his 25. Petiti back, Joe Edgley, the long snapper.
All right, Petiti gets a kickoff. Rad's going to take it at his own 40-yard line. Crosses the 45 up to the 50. Flag thrown on the play. Looks like this was going to go against North Quincy.
Yeah, I think he grabbed his face mask. So Raditz over on the sideline there, all fired up coming out of the locker room. So the Presidents come up with a 3-and-out defensively. They're going to get the ball at about the 50, and it looks like they're going to get inside Raider territory when they march off this penalty.
We have a personal foul, face mask on the kicking team.
All right, so a 15-yard face mask against North Quincy. They said Raditz went down at the Quincy High School 49-yard line. So it's going to march them all the way up now to the 34.
Great field position for the Presidents. Great start to the second half for the Presidents. Not what the Red Raiders wanted to be doing coming out of the locker room. Full house backfield here with Gray in the backfield, John.
All right, so Quincy has the ball, as you said, at the 39-yard line, full house backfield. Tim Lewis gets the carry over to the right side. And he's going to get up to about the 30-yard line when he's brought down.
Joe Benoit, the senior, got in there and blew that play open. He did a nice job of taking on the block from Gray. Now Gray is going off. He's limping a little bit. We'll hope Sean's okay from the Quincy perspective because he's a key guy. But it looks like he's favoring his left leg a bit as he comes off the field. As we said, Benoit got in and really blew up that play on the give to Lewis. Nice job by Benoit. And this is number 73, Joe Benoit, not number 75, Mike.
Second down and 7 out for the Presidents. Again, full house backfield. Raditz is wide to the right.
Long count, trying to keep the Red Raiders off balance.
Tim Lewis has over to the left side. He's going to have the first down, and Moore gets up to the 20-yard line. Great run there by Tim Lewis. Gain, a 11-yard gain there for the Presidents, and they'll move the chains.
Yeah, nice job by Quincy. They're going to a longer snap count, trying to keep the Red Raiders off balance. If you watch the replay here, watch how long Peterson keeps them up at the line. Well, maybe we'll skip the replay. We'll skip the replay on that one as the Presidents come out again. But Peterson doing a nice job going with a long count. Now it's a quick count. Great job by Quincy.
1st and 10. Tim Lewis get another handoff over to the right side. And will they see where they mark him down? They're going to mark him down at the 16-yard line. So gain of 6 for the Presidents.
Quincy doing little things here, John, to try to keep the Red Raiders off balance. As we said, last play, Peterson with a long count, trying to get the linemen to, set a little bit, the Red Raider linemen, that is, in their positions. This time he came out, and it was a quick count. So all kinds of little things, trying to get an edge. They get a 5-yard gain there. Quincy offense on the march. North Quincy leading 10-6 with 7:20 to go. But the Presidents with a big drive here to start the second half.
Second down and 5. They called it a 5-yard gain for Lewis on that last play. Again, they give it to Lewis over to the left side. Has a big hole. Gets over to the 5. Stays on his feet. Trying to fight his way for the end zone. Touchdown, Presidents. Tim Lewis, a 22-yard touchdown run, and Quincy takes the lead.
Wow, what a run by Lewis. I'll tell you, he was breaking tackles, and he would not be denied once he got a sniff of that end zone. Paul Reamer tried to hit him, but was unable to bring him down. And once he got past Reamer, he was not going to be denied. So the Presidents come out of the locker room huge with a big touchdown here. And they take the lead early on in the second half, 12-10. And they'll be kicking the extra point here. Mark Gilbody sets the tee. And this would put him up by 3, John. Big point after, as it would take the Red Raiders at least a field goal to tie.
There's actually a 16-yard touchdown run. I was looking at the wrong chain there. I was looking at the first down marker. Kick is up, and it is good by Quincy High School. So the score is now Quincy High School 13, the North Quincy Red Raiders 10, with 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Well, if you're wearing a white shirt today, that's the way you wanted to come out of the locker room. Guys in black, not so. North Quincy deferred and got the ball to their offense, but they continue to sputter offensively. Quincy taking full advantage there, and after the personal foul penalty, they just marched down the field on a 4 or 5 play drive, was it?
I believe it was 4.
4-play drive, and banged it right in, led by Lewis. So great job by the Presidents. They've regained the lead in what looks like a back-and-forth battle here today. We weren't quite sure what to expect, frankly, John. As we said, in the past several games, North Quincy has been held to 1 touchdown the prior 2 years in 06 and 07, shutout in 04 and 05, and then 1 touchdown in 02 and 03. So in the last 6 games combined, North Quincy has scored only 28 points. So the offense has not been productive on Thanksgiving Day for the Red Raiders. Today they came out pretty well offensively. They had opportunities. They scored 10 points in the first half. They're going to have to be more successful in this second half here.
Kick is down on the ground. That was a quick hit by Quincy High School, fielded by Reamer at the 20-yard line. It was a little difficulty by the Rays to pick up that ball, but Reamer finally picked it up. And they're going to say he's down now at the 29-yard line on North Quincy side of the field. And that's where they'll take over, first down and 10 Raiders.
Yeah, both teams use the conservative squib kick approach. That's the first time it's really worked in this game, actually. You've got to get it past the front line and the second line players on special teams to really make it work. Quincy did that time, and the Red Raiders start with their poorest field position in the game, inside their 30 at the 28.
Handoff goes to number 22, Matt J. Went up the middle, cut to the left to pick up a couple extra yards on that play. And they're going to say he's down now at the 34-yard line. So gain of 5.
I'm sorry, John. Nice cutback by Jay there. He saw a little opening to his left. He cut it up the sleeve there, and he picked up about 5. So this is going to be a very, very important possession for the Red Raiders, John. They've got to have that sense of urgency offensively. The defense has played great all game. The offense has to step up here. Guys have to show some leadership and some oomph and try to come right back at Quincy. Send a message to them.
All right, high formation. Handoff went to Jay again.
Jay gets stood up right at the line, I would say, for no gain.
Looks like they might give him 1 yard on that play up to the 35 with some last-minute pushing up there.
President defense continues to impress, John. The down lineman for Quincy, number 50, number 55, Derek Andrews, and over on the right side, number 31, Tim Lewis. You see number 50 there. He's not in our E.J. Lewis. Those 3 guys have done a great job of fighting the Red Raider line off while the linebackers have made some plays.
All right, Valpondo went in motion. They're going to give it to him, running up to the left side. And great tackle there by Quincy High School. Looked like it was number 22 for the Presidents coming up, Kenny Nguyen on the tackle.
Great job by Nguyen. Jay, the last guy up, he was out there trying to lead block. No success. If you watch the replay here, you're going to see Valpondo trying to get out. Watch 22 from the top of your screen. Matt Jay fights off Nguyen, and then Nguyen gets in and makes a nice hit.
Looks like it was actually Ed Jolker, number 21, came in and make the initial hit.
Yeah, Joliker as well. You're correct. So, Red Raiders 3 and out again. That's 2 straight 3 and outs for the Red Raiders. President defense really shining here coming out of the locker room.
Ends up being a 4th down and 1, and North's going to elect a punt at their own 38-yard line. And it is blocked there by E.J. Lewis, number 50. And actually, R.J. Barnett comes away with it for North Quincy. And North Quincy gets a huge break there. The ball was tipped. It went up in the air, and R.J. Barnett came down with it. He had it behind the line of scrimmage, and he's going to run up all the way into Quincy territory up to the 37-yard line. But the officials are discussing what happenings here. It looked like the ball just might come back.
Well, I'm not sure. We're going to have to watch the replay in a moment. I want to see what the officials say. R.J. Barden is down on the field injured, but Magnarelli, the referee, is saying that it is Quincy ball
caught it right here.
It's
at
going
the
to
line
be
of
marked at the 41. Let's hear what he has to say.
Okay?
I think if it's tipped, if it's tipped by a Quincy player, which they're discussing right down there now, if it's tipped by a Quincy player, he's covered by a North player, I don't think they can advance the ball.
But he did signal Quincy ball, so.
They are calling it back. So it looks like it'll be Quincy ball. Actually, they're calling out for Coach Jim Connor. Come out into the field. R.J. Barden, who ran that ball back, is down on the field. After the last touchdown by Quincy High School, a run by Tim Lewis, Barden was down for a little extra time on the field, and he was able to get up on his own power and stay in the ball game. But it looked like after that last run, it took a lot of energy out of Barden.
Good job by the officials. You've got two members from the crew over talking to Coach Connor, and two members over talking to the Quincy coaching staff. Looks like we're going to have another deliberation here as Coach Connor is disputing the call. R.J. Barden is up under his own power. Why don't we go to the replay while the officials discuss it? I think we can get the replay in. Here's the punt. It's going to be blocked.
Right
and
there.
You see the ball in the air, and it's fielded in the first instance, it looks like, by R.J. Barden there. And
Looked like the ball came down in between a lot of players there, and I'm not sure if it touched anyone else, and that's what Coach Connor is asking about, if it touched any Quincy player or whatnot. And Barden runs up there, and looked like right at the end of the play there, it looked like he might have got his knee twisted or ankle twist at the end of the play there as he was tackled. If we run it back a little bit further, we can see the ball come down to a scrum.
Did it touch the Quincy player, I guess is the question. Not really sure.
Looked like also over there for North Quincy was number 73, Joe Benoit. He saw it in the air and was going after it.
Here's the block. Ball in the air. And there, if it hit the player, not quite sure what the call might be.
Well, we're going to go down to the field
Here
now.
we go.
Referee John Magnarelli for the call.
We have illegal touching by North Quincy. Quincy's ball first. Illegal touching by North Quincy. Quincy's ball first and 10.
All right, so it's an illegal touch on North Quincy. So all that hard work, unfortunately, went for nothing.
May be the case that while the ball was in the air and before the Quincy player had a shot to field it, they deemed R.J. Barden as grabbing the ball to be the illegal touching. You have to give the offensive or receiving team an opportunity to field the ball. Full house backfield for Quincy at the 42.
All right, Tim Lewis gets the carry over to the right side, and he gets a gain of 2 or 3 on the play. Just been informed now by Martin Dunham, also our statistician, that back into the ball game was number 5, Pat Watkins.
I am very impressed by the young man and his toughness. Let's just hope he's okay and he doesn't further injure himself while he's out there. Interesting turn of events here, John. North Quincy looked like they were in control in the first half. Quincy kept battling and battling and battling. Now it's Quincy that has control of the game. They're in the lead. They've got the ball. They've got the momentum. And they've got a 2nd and 7 with the clock running in this third quarter. We're ticking down to 3 minutes at 3:35 to go.
Play action fake to Tim Lewis. Pass goes now over to number 44, John Parry for the Presidents. And he's going to be right at the first down marker. We'll see what kind of spot the Presidents get. Needs to get to the 31 for a first down, and they mark it at the 32. So he's going to be just shy of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and short.
Nice job by Parry of releasing, coming out and making the reception. Parry's the long snapper. That's what we've normally called his name for. He's out here doing the long snapping on special teams. But on that play, he got out into the flat, and he did a very good job of protecting the ball, John. He wrapped it up well, and nice gain by the Presidents. They've got 3rd and short. It's 3rd and 1, and expect to see Tim Lewis going to work here.
Full house backfield, and it's going to be a quarterback keeper
Nice
instead.
call.
Lance Peterson has it, and he gets up to the 30-yard line. The Presidents will move the chains here in the third quarter with 2:30 left to go. Quincy on top by a score of 13-10.
Yeah, now we see, with that lineup, you see that Parry is in there for Sean Gray. Sean is normally in there as the blocking back. They brought Parry in, giving Sean an opportunity to shake off whatever the injury was. He's over on the sidelines, flexing his left knee, trying to recover. We'll hope, obviously you just hope that the boy is not injured, first of all, but secondly, hopefully Sean can get back in the game for the Presidents.
So 1st and 10 now for the Presidents. Ball at the North Quincy 30-yard line. Again, full house backfield. Tim Lewis takes the handoff. Ball's on the ground, but Tim Lewis was able to jump on it.
I got to tell you something. I saw something going on there before the play. Now you understand it better. Joe Valpondo was running to each of the linebackers, telling them something. And I noticed Pat Watkins step up into a gap. Valpondo read that play well because they ran it to the side of the field where Joe was directing everybody. So nice job of leadership and having his head in the game by Joe Valpondo. If you watch this replay real quickly, you're going to see Lewis fumble the ball. Looks like he might have caught Parry's leg there on the block. Clock ticking down. We're under 120 in this third quarter. 2nd and 12.
Pitch goes to Tim Lewis over to the left side. Has a blocker in front of him. He's used him. Gets up to the 20-yard line. And we'll see where they mark him out of bounds. They needed to get to the 20 for the first down. And it looks like he's going to get him up to the 19. So Quincy should be able to pick up a first down here. Great run by Tim Lewis.
You see Pat Watkins there, number 5, just getting up awfully slowly. I don't mean to belabor the fact, but he is just one tough kid. There he is going off the field. Fortuitously, the coaching staff recognized that he should get a break there. He took Lewis head on, made the tackle, got up awfully slowly. I think it's going to be a rough Thanksgiving Day for Patrick Watkins here. He's still clearly still banged up, but showing a real gutty effort here in the second half.
All right, so 1st and 10 now for the Presidents. Trips receivers to the right, and they got to send Zach Manning in motion. And a whistle blows. And it looks like Coach Bill Reardon for the Presidents is going to call a timeout.
Yeah, it's a quick timeout to make an adjustment. Reardon recognizing how critical this possession is. They're going to end the third quarter here in the red zone. So I'm sure that, A, doesn't want to see any mistakes. B, after this play, doesn't want Peterson to hurry to the line or anything. They want to get the reset and have the clock run down. But everything is going very well if you're a President here as this third quarter comes to an end. And Coach Reardon wants to make sure that no mistakes are made on what we expect to be the final play here.
The wind's beginning to pick up here at the stadium as well. The flag is almost straight out now. So we'll see if that becomes a factor later on in the game. So 1st and 10 for the Presidents at the 19-yard line. Manning goes in motion. Lewis gets a handoff over to the left side. Flag thrown on the play. Lewis gets up to the 15-yard line, but I believe this one's going to be coming back against the Presidents.
Staley in there on the stop for North Quincy. Donahue in there as well. I think that the Raiders have to take this penalty. They've got to move Quincy back, and the Presidents are accepting that reality.
Referee John Magnarelli down the field. Talking to the North Quincy captain, R.J. Barden, right now, seeing what they want to do.
We have holding, number 33 on the offense. Repeat first down.
Now, this is an opportunity for the Raider defense here to capitalize on a mistake. They've played hard all game. Field position just shifted, not dramatically, but enough that it's going to be important here as the Presidents are back to the 29. It's going to be a first down and 20 for them. And if the Red Raiders can come up with a stop here, It's probably 4-down territory, John, meaning I don't think that they'd have Gilbody try a field goal here. But moving it back to the 29 makes a dramatic difference in the President's options. Lewis, the lone guy in the backfield.
Yep, first down and 20 for the Presidents. Ball spot at the 29-yard line. This will be the last play of the third quarter. Lewis gets a handoff over to the left side, has a big hole, gets across the 20, still on his feet, gets up to the 10-yard line. Huge play there by Tim Lewis, a 20-yard gain for the Presidents, and that's how they're going to end the the third quarter.
I'll tell you what, Lewis starting to take over here in this second half. Watch the replay and watch the black shirts just bounce off of Tim Lewis here. He's going to break a tackle there. Breaks a tackle there. And he rumbles down just outside the 10-yard line. Big run for Tim Lewis. He's trying to match the performance of, was it Diego Arredondo last year? Diego, right? There are a few Arredondo boys with Quincy ties, and last year was the most impressive performance by an individual player in my memory in this Thanksgiving game when Diego Arredondo just took over the field at Veterans Stadium to lead the Presidents. Well, in this final quarter, second half here, and now as we head to the final quarter, Tim Lewis trying to match that effort. President running game, keeping the Raiders on the sidelines, resulting in the only score in the second half as the Presidents got the one touchdown thus far in the second half to take the lead 13-10. And they've really seized control of this ball game at this point, John.
All right, so the Presidents will move down to the south part of the end zone, moving left to right now. Spot the ball at the North Quincy 10-yard line. So it'll be first and goal for the Presidents at the 10 as we begin now the fourth quarter.
Stats on Lewis, thanks to Martin Dunham, 16 carries, 95 yards. Great effort by Lewis, and he's been out on the field all game, playing defensively as well, John.
Actually going to say it's second down and about half a yard to go. And we're going to have a flag now. It looks like maybe on North Quincy.
Substitution.
Too many guys
on the
field.
defense, 12 players on the field.
All right, so no doubt now Quincy will pick up the first down. So it'll be first and goal now at the 5-yard line.
Wow, inside the 5, Presidents, and with their running game, I'll tell you what, they are really in control here. They've run the ball very successfully. They've got 3 shots from inside the 5. I don't know, John. We got to see the Raiders come up with a stop here if they're going to keep this game alive.
Well, pitch it to Tim Lewis over to the left side, and in for the touchdown goes Lewis. Tim Lewis gets his second touchdown on the day, and Quincy's going to increase their lead 19-10 with a point after the come.
Well, this is what you want to see if you're a Presidents fan. They've just come out and really played forceful football here in this second half. They've just really taken it to the Raiders. Right now, the Red Raiders sideline, a very dispirited group, moving around awfully slowly, and there's just no energy down on the sideline. So what they're going to have to do after this extra point is the special teams got to come out and get something going, and that Raider offense has got to make the fourth quarter theirs if they're going to get back in this game, John.
All right, the kick is up, and it is good. So teams will come back downfield. Quincy now increases his lead to 10 points, 20-10. Martin Dunham, our statistician, just told us that after that last carry, Tim Lewis went over the 100-yard mark, right at the 100-yard mark on 17 carries for the Presidents here today.
Yeah, great individual effort. You could see early on in their first possession that the offensive game plan was going to be centered around Lewis, and it has been, and Tim has come up big. If he's got some durability to him and he can stick it out through this fourth quarter, then you got to like the President's chances here, John. On the other side of the field here, Red Raider special teams have got to step up and make some things happen here, and the offense as well. They've got to make some plays. The defense is worn out and feeling a little beleaguered here. They played very, very well all half. And they've got to get some support from the other side of the ball here. Reamer and Valpano are going to be back deep.
Fans from North Quincy are trying to make some noise, try to get their team motivated and get back into the ball game as they're getting ready to get the ball back. All right, script kick again, fielded at the 30-yard line by Brian Donahue.
Nice job by Donahue. Fielded the ball cleanly. He looked like a shortstop out there. Then he ran it back about 13 yards. Red Raiders with good field position at the 42. Here comes the offense. They've got to go to work here. Now, one of the factors we talked about early on, if they throw the ball to the right side of the field, the North Quincy receivers are going to be looking back in the sun. So expect them to work the left side of the field. That's an easier view for the players looking at the ball. We'll see what happens here.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 42. Stands back to pass, looking downfield. He fires, wide open. It's Paul Reamer. He has it at the 30-yard line. 25, cuts back into the 20, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown.
Great job by Reamer. What an individual effort by Reamer. A great run after the catch. That's what the Raiders needed. A big play by North Quincy's Mike Stanton and Paul Reamer. And the Red Raiders are right back in this ball game.
A 58-yard touchdown pass on the first play from scrimmage from Mike Stanton to a wide-open Paul Reamer. And as you said, North Quincy's right back into the ball game with a point after the come.
Quincy's going to get a timeout here, a little substitution problem. I'm stunned that the coaches went a route different from my analysis there. They went down the right side of the field, John, and Reamer was wide open. No one even near him. So great stuff by the Red Raiders. That's what they need here. Not just the big play, though. They need some consistency now in this second half, and hopefully this little shot of adrenaline is going to help the Raiders to stay fired up here and give us an exciting fourth quarter. Stanton's there alone. Now they're setting up for the conventional point after.
So 20-16 right now with a point after to come. Shea Adesanya lines up, kick goes up, and it appears to be good, and it is. So the teams will come back downfield. Quincy 20, North Quincy 17, and we have ourselves a ball game here in the fourth quarter.
Yep, that's great stuff. Adesanya is a straight-on kicker, John. He does not use the soccer-style approach. You don't see too many of them anymore. But he kicked it right through the uprights. Great effort there. And North Quincy is right back in the ball game, and there's some life back in the Red Raiders sidelines. So it's 20-17 Quincy. Coach Connor imploring you. There's a shot of the Presidents coming back out for the kickoff. They're going to, that's their offensive return team. There's the Red Raider special teams. And little fire here, so we should have an exciting fourth quarter, John.
All right, so the teams come back out onto the field again. Quincy 20, North Quincy 17. 10:39 left to go in the ball game. We've had 2 touchdowns, Jim, in 21 seconds of the fourth quarter, so it's been an exciting 21 seconds here and still a whole 10 minutes left to go. All right, Chris Savora will be doing the kicking for North Quincy. Squib kick goes up the middle.
Oh, great play there.
Nozia Gugwo jumps on it. Ball's going to go skipping past him, dives on it, and instead of the ball being back around the 20-yard line, the Presidents will have it at the 37.
Well, not only that, but that ball was about to start doing the pigskin shuffle back there. It bounced around. A football can be a very wobbly item, and as you said, Gugwo handled that cleanly and made a super play to down the ball where he did at the 37. So here come the President's offense trying to answer that big play by the Red Raiders.
Trips receivers to the right of Peterson. Lewis in the backfield. They're going to send Zach Manning in motion. Lewis gets it, evades one tackle in the backfield. R.J. Barden came flying through, just couldn't get a hand on him. Lewis goes over to the left side, and will get up to the 44-yard line for a gain of 2.
Huge factor in this ball game is the absence of Pat Watkins. Watkins on the sideline. That's his position over there on the right side of the field. That's where you see him defensively. And the Presidents, since Watkins has gone to the sidelines, have been running the ball left, running it at the position that Watkins had been playing, trying to pick on that left side as they try to adjust. So good coaching, good execution by the Presidents. Red Raiders trying to make the adjustment.
2nd down and 8 now for Quincy High. And it's going to be a handoff now, and that goes nowhere. Read nicely by North Quincy. Terrence Staley, R.J. Barden, and Joe Benoit come in there to make the tackle, and it'll be no gain for Quincy High.
Yeah, a little counter play there, and Staley read it beautifully. As you said, he got in and he made the tackle, so good stuff by the Red Raider defense here, taking that positive energy, and they're responding here. Going to be 3rd and about 8 from just short of the 40-yard line. They're at the 39 for the Presidents.
Quincy High School scored on both their possessions of the second half, and if North can hold them here, that'd be a big, huge momentum swing for the Red Raiders, and they'll get the ball back as well. So 3rd and 8, and we're going to have a whistle blow before the play gets off. And it looked like a timeout was called by Coach Jim Connor. And he's going to send Pat Watkins back into the ball game. The trainer had come over to the north sideline to look at Watkins' hand. Not sure what the issue was, but calls timeout. So Quincy will get another chance at his 3rd down and 8.
All right, and this is a big, big 3rd down play, too. Both teams, if the Presidents can execute here, it's a great way to counter the energy and fire of the Red Raiders. If the Red Raiders can come up with a stop, they're just going to capitalize on their momentum here, John.
Trips receivers to the left slot of Peterson. Lewis in the backfield. Raditz is wide to the right. He's looking for Raditz. Looking downfield for Raditz, and it is intercepted. Matt Jay comes up with the INT, and North Quincy gets a much-needed turnover.
Tell you what, Jay was on the inside on the coverage. He read the play the whole way. A spectacular defensive effort by Matt Jay. If you watch this replay, watch at the bottom of your screen. Raditz heading down the field. The ball's up in the air. Now pick this up on the right of the screen, folks. There's Jay. He's right there the whole way. Great position. Makes the reception. Big, big play for the Red Raiders. And super leadership by senior Matt Jay. This is what they need from their seniors, John. And some of these guys are really stepping up big here today.
All right, so North will take over on their own 26-yard line. 8:46 left to go in the ball game. Stanton looking back to pass. Fires complete to Jay. And a big hit there by Brian McGee to drive him back. He did get up to the 30-yard line, Matt Jay did, for a gain of 4.
You know, you got to keep some perspective here. Brian McGee is the punter. You know, where do you see punters make hits like that, John? What a great high school athlete he is. Super football player. We've been talking about him all season. He is just a solid, dependable athlete. Made a big hit there, drove the receiver back. Great defensive play by Brian McGee.
I think Mr. McGee would take issue on that. He's just a punter, Jim, coming up with that tackle. All right, Stanton goes out of the pocket, being pursued, and again coming up with the play was Brian McGee, who was chased out of the pocket by number 50, Quincy's captain, E.J. Lewis. Stanton is going to get up to the 35-yard line and be just shy of the 1st down.
Great run by Stanton. Looking a little like Matt Castle here. He showed some mobility and got up just short of the 1st down. Good leadership by Mike Stanton there.
All right, so it's going to be 3rd down and about half the yard to go for North Quincy. Ball's at the 35-yard line. Full house backfield for the Raiders. Stan's going to keep it on the quarterback keeper. And it looks like he should have enough for the first down.
Yeah, he just leaned over his right side. He did a great job there, catching the little gap between the center and the guard. Raiders pick up a first down here, continue to capitalize on their momentum and build on it as well.
All right, 7:15 left to go in the ball game. North Quincy driving down the field just to pick up a first down. Ball's now on their own 37-yard line. Offset backfield for the Raiders, standing back to pass, looking, and it is picked off by Quincy High School. Coming away with it was number 22, Kenny Nguyen, and a huge play there for Quincy High School.
Big play is right. Kenny Nguyen jumping the pattern. He was right there. If you watch the replay here, you're going to see Nguyen just reads the pattern and steps in. Watch from the bottom of your screen. He cuts in front of Jay. Saw it the whole way. And there's Anthony Radis, number 88, at the bottom of your screen. He had the deep coverage on Jay, so that gave Nguyen the opportunity to jump in as he did. That play was snuffed out by the Presidents. Big turnover there. The Presidents take over inside the Raider 40 at the 39. Under 7 minutes to go. Quincy leading 20-17. They're going to look to take some time off the clock with this drive, John.
That's North Quincy's first turnover of the game. Tim Lewis now on the carry, and he's going to pick up a first down for Quincy High School, running up to the right side and then cutting back up into the middle and getting up to the North Quincy High School 28-yard line.
Yeah, we got to talk about some of the guys who are making this happen down there. We're giving number 31 all the credit, as we should, but he's blasting up through holes that are being created by the Quincy offensive line. Now, of course, the first guy I see down there is number 63, and we don't have him on our roster. There he is.
Michael Young.
Michael Young. Young doing a great job at the right tackle. We'll get the rest after this.
All right, again, Lewis with a handoff over to the right side, and he's going to fall forward up to about the 26-yard line. And I think that's where they're going to spot the ball, and they do.
Tony Nguyen, number 56. It's been Young and Nguyen that they've been running behind over on the right side and running very successfully. We'll catch the other guys in a moment. Yeah, Taylor Radcliffe is on the outside on the left. He's the tackle.
Also, E.J. Lewis is the left guard there, Jim.
And the center for Quincy, Brian McDonald. Those five guys have just done a super job in the second half. They've taken over the line of scrimmage.
All right, Lewis trying to get outside to the left, cuts back up into the middle. But a nice job there by North Quincy, R.J. Bard and Terrence Staley. And again, number 73, one of the captains, Joe Benoit, come up to make the tackle.
That was a big stop for the Red Raiders. It brings up a 3rd down and 8. We are again probably in 4-down territory here. Although Quincy might consider punting with the talented Brian McGee and try to pin North back. But right now, 3rd down and 8 play with 5 minutes to go here in this fourth quarter. You could call this a big play here because if Quincy keeps possession, they can run the clock down and they've got the lead.
114 yards rushing for Tim Lewis. Zach Manning goes in motion. Lewis gets a handoff again, up to the middle, and nice job there by Tim Lewis. Flag thrown late after the play.
Going to watch the face mask there on the big guy. I think that's going to be the call here, and that could be a huge penalty if it is.
And Quincy High School players, they're clapping, coming away happy. So it looks like it's going to be against North. Ball is at the 21-yard line. We'll go down to the field for the call.
Personal foul. On the defense, face mask.
All right, so it's going to be a 15-yard penalty tacked onto the end, or maybe half the distance to the goal. Either way, it'll be a first down for the Presidents.
That is a huge penalty, costly penalty, coming down to 4 minutes. The Raider defense just has to come up with a stop here. There's no real options, John. The ball's outside the 10. They can absorb a field goal here, but a touchdown would effectively end the game.
4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go.
With the clock running.
First down and 10. Quincy can get to the 1 yard line and pick up a first down. Full house backfield. Lewis again with a carry over to the left side. And he gets hit still on his feet, though. Piles moving forward. Great job there by the offensive line for the Presidents to move him forward. And they're going to mark him down at the 4 yard line.
They really have taken over the game, the Quincy offensive line. And you have to tip your hat to them. We talked earlier about conditioning and durability and whether Quincy was going to be able to withstand the ability of North to rotate athletes in and stay fresh. Well, it's Quincy that's come out in the second half and just played dominating football, John. And, their conditioning has really held up well.
Second down and 3. Lewis gets a handoff over to the left side. Flag thrown on the play. Great tackle there by Joe Benoit.
We'll see what the call is. It's definitely against Quincy. I would agree with R.J. Barton, who's making the signal. It's a hold. So that'll march them back. They'll have to take it. But again, the defense has to come up with a stop here.
We have holding on the offense. Repeat second down.
So it'll be a 10-yard penalty against the Presidents. Now move the ball back now to the 14-yard line.
They take Kilcullen out and put Pat Watkins back in. North Quincy coaching staff suspecting that Quincy might be going to the air at one point or another here. It's second and about 14. Clock running again, down inside of 3:20.
We have not called Anthony Raditz's name on the offensive side for Quincy High School this year. Raditz had 10 touchdowns, had 9 receiving, and returned a touchdown, returned a kickoff for a touchdown as well. And Quincy High School is going to call a timeout.
Well, nice job by Coach Reardon. What he did there was he ran about 25 seconds off the clock. Then rather than take yet another penalty, they're going to use their timeout. Super clock management by Bill Reardon and the Quincy Presidents. North Quincy has to come up with a stop. I'm belaboring that point now, but the defense with a second and long, they have an opportunity to create something here for the Red Raiders in terms of an offensive chance if they can come up with a stop.
All right, let me know. We can wrap it up if we need to.
Just saying, John, that the Red Raiders here, if the defense can come up with a stop and get the ball back with an opportunity to, if they give up either a field goal or a touchdown, North could still have some time here. They're going to start using timeouts, I'm sure, after this play. North Quincy, that is.
Yeah, North would certainly prefer a field goal right here. That would put them down only by 6 points. If Quincy gets a touchdown, they're going to need 2 scores to get
effectively over, I would say, if Quincy were to score a touchdown. So.
All right, well, 3:11 left to go in the ball game. It is second down and 14 for the Presidents. Full house backfield. Lewis with the carry over to the right side. Has to open space, trying to get to the corner. Gets to the 5, and in for the touchdown, Tim Lewis. His 3rd touchdown here today. And with 3:03 left to go, Quincy's going to take a 26-17 lead.
Boy, that is huge. That is huge. Tim Lewis with a great individual effort on the outside there. Broke 2 tackles, got in and scored. And that's at least a potentially back-breaking touchdown there. North Quincy can still do something if they can score quickly in the next possession. They would then have to execute an onside kick. But right now, things look a little bleak for the Raiders as Mark Gilbody eyes the point after. It's 26-17, a 9-point lead. This will put it at 10 points. And we have 3 minutes to go in the ball game. So the Red Raiders are going to have to strike quickly on this next kickoff.
Gilbody lines up for the extra point. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is good. So Quincy High School will take a 10-point lead, 27-17, with 3:03 left to go in the ball game. I want to remind all of our viewers, you can replay this game or see a replay of this game on QATV. And for all the times, log on to QATV's website at www.qatv.org. Game will replay later on today, Thanksgiving morning. It will have a replay in the afternoon, evening, and at midnight, and also on Friday and Saturday as well. We also want to encourage everyone to watch QATV's coverage of the 56th Annual Christmas Festival Parade. They'll be marching down Hancock Street. QATV 8 and QATV 10 will have live coverage beginning at 12:30 p.m. on Sunday, November 30th.
Yeah, this is always a very fun weekend in Quincy. You just recapped all the events, but there's a lot to do, especially if you have a young family. There's a shot of some of the young fans here at the game enjoying the Red Raiders. That's on the Red Raiders side of the field, I believe. So...
All right, back to receive will be Paul Reamer and Joe Valpondo for the Red Raiders.
Got to come up with something here, John. This is the first of a few big plays North Quincy needs to execute.
All right, it's going to be fielded by North at the 25-yard line. And a big call there by Terrence Staley.
Oh, wow.
Huge hit there by Kenny Nguyen.
Jeez.
Staley had a wide open lane, and Nguyen came up and laid him out.
Yep. Great tackle, but Staley pops right up. He did what they needed them to do. Got the ball out. Great field position. The sun is not a factor here. It should not interfere with the receiver's ability to see the ball here, John. So that's a plus for North Quincy. We're going to expect them to go to the air here.
All right, so 1st and 10 Raiders at their own 48-yard line. Stanton going back to pass. Looking, fires, and it is complete. And ball's loose, and Quincy's going to recover, Jim. Another costly turnover for North Quincy, and Quincy's going to capitalize, pick it up with 2:48 left to go in the game.
Yeah, there Matt Jay made the reception right on the sideline. I'm sure the hope was that he would just go out of bounds and stop the clock. He tried to make something happen, and in doing so, he got stripped. I don't know if we have the replay. I'd like to see who made the strip because that's going to be the game-ending play. Here comes the replay. You're going to watch the ball get to the sideline. Now, Matt Jay's right there. And it's going to be number 33 for the Presidents, who makes one of the big plays in this game, and perhaps the biggest, Zach Manning. That one effectively ends it. As now the ball's going to go over to the Presidents. And with a running game they've shown in the second half, all they got to do is run out the clock, John. 1st and 10 Presidents from the 49.
North Quincy just have 4 timeouts left, so they can't stop the clock 4 more times. Tim Lewis on the carry over to the right side, crosses into North Quincy territory, gets up to the North Quincy High School 47-yard line, and Coach Conn is trying to call for timeout and finally get someone to see that he's calling.
So the amazing President streak looks like it's going to continue, John. This is really remarkable. The game today was evenly played, back and forth. North seemed to have control over things in the first half, but the Presidents just continued to fight, took control in the second half, and they now are sitting with a 27-17 lead with a 2nd and 7 and 2:38 to go.
As you said, Jim, Quincy's trying to improve their streak right now to 10 games, which will be by far and away the longest of this storied and long history between these two teams.
Yeah, this is the 75th game, correct?
76.
6th, okay.
All right, pitch goes to Kenny Nguyen over to the left side. And he's going to lose yardage on that play. He's going to get tackled at the 50-yard line, and North calls another timeout to stop the clock. 2:31 left to go.
Well, there was talk a week ago when Harvard played Yale about the Harvard-Yale game, which was very similar to this one in that Yale had a 2-touchdown lead with about the same amount of time left in the game. I don't know if you remember this one, sports guru, but Harvard ended up scoring 16 points in the final minute 30. They scored 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions to tie the game. And the headline was, Harvard beats Yale 29-29. Well, that's about all that's left for the Red Raiders. And Coach Connor is down there. You see him with Joe Ruscio, the team manager, exhorting the boys to not give up and continue to try to make something happen here. It looks like they're going to get another possession. And with Stanton at quarterback and the receivers they have, North has got the potential for quick strikes. We saw it in the, was it the start of the fourth quarter? Start of the fourth quarter when Stanton went long. So they come up with a stop here. They've got some opportunity, and that's what Coach Connor was preaching to the boys during that timeout.
All right, 3rd down and 9 for the Presidents. Zach Manning gets a carry and fumbles. And looks like North Quincy has recovered. Looks like they recovered. We'll see if the official signaling, and they have. A huge play there. North Quincy gets the ball back. They have 2 timeouts left. And with 2:26 left to go, they're going to try to march the ball down the field.
Well, it's important now. If you watch the replay, it's just a little counter play. Zach Manning goes down hard. Well, there you see the loose ball, and you see them covering the fumble. But the boys cannot try to win it all on one play here for North Quincy. They've got to be a little more conservative and disciplined here. And hopefully, if they get the ball on the sideline, get out of bounds, stop the clock. Let's see what Mike Stanton and the Red Raiders do here.
All right, Stanton goes back to pass. And he evades the sack. Now he's going to have to run the ball. Gets across the 50. He fumbles the ball now. And it looked like Stanton recovered the fumble.
High school football at its best. We've got flags down now. Little chippiness at the end of the play. Your quarterback's down on the field, and there are people diving on him. And some of the linemen took offense at that one.
All right, so the clock is stopped. Multiple flags have been thrown. Trainers are attending to the quarterback, Mike Stanton, the junior from North Quincy High School. Stanton did a great job there. Looked like he was going to be sacked by the Presidents. Snuck out of that, ran up the ball, and as he was making the turn upfield, he fumbled the ball. Ball bounced on the ground, picked it up, and I think we were going to take a look here at the replay of that last play where a lot of action was happening.
Watch him step up in the pocket here. And now the ball just inexplicably comes loose. You're going to see him cover it.
Taylor Radcliffe was the man who flushed him out of the pocket for North Quincy. And then there were some extracurricular activities after the play was way over by.
What type of activity?
Extracurricular activities, Jim.
Been a long day, hasn't it, John?
It has.
For those of you who may not, well, most of our viewers don't know this, but John Caleri is not only on-air talent, but he's here early setting up and orchestrating everything with engineer Chris Potter. So
Black.
It's a long day
Timeout
for him.
on Black.
Right,
North
so
gets a
Quincy,
timeout,
yep.
presumably due to the fact that their quarterback got his bell rung, and they really need him out there because this is the guy who can deliver the goods. So Connor changing headsets. He's going upstairs to talk to the guys up above us about potential options, and they're going to call a couple of plays as well. So,
All right, so the penalty was against Quincy High School. We should mention that. And it's going to be a 15-yard penalty. It goes all the way up now to the 37-yard line of Quincy High School. And that's where North will take over. 2:13 left to go in the ball game. Quincy High on top by a score of 27-17.
Tell you what, if the Raiders can keep it together here, they definitely have a shot. They're only down 10. That's 2 scores. So got to see if they can make something here happen on this possession.
All right, Stanton under center, 4 receivers. Evades 1 sack, but cannot evade another. Coming up for it was number 21, Ed Joliker. A huge play for Quincy High School. And Coach Connor is going to call his last time out.
The line play in the second half has just been dominated by Quincy, and that's what caused the change in this game. They have won the game in the trenches, and it's the same numbers that we talked about earlier. Over on the left side, number 72, Taylor Radcliffe. In the middle, number 31, Tim Lewis. This is the running back, mind you, who's been down in the trenches. And then on the outside on the left, number 55, Derek Andrews. Those guys have just dominated the line play here in the second half, along with the President offensive line. So the pocket has collapsed twice now around Stanton. He hasn't had an opportunity to really look downfield, John, even though his receivers have been down there.
All right, so it's going to be second down and 12 now for North Quincy. Pat Watkins coming back into the ball game along with quarterback Mike Stanton.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of receivers out there. Watkins, Jay, Reamer, Valpondo's out there, and then Staley's the lone backfield guy. Staley's done a nice job back there blocking. Been a safety guy, safety Val.
All right, Stanton rolling out, throws downfield looking for Watkins, and it is complete.
What a catch!
Great catch there by Pat Watkins at the Quincy High School 18-yard line, and he gets out of bounds.
Oh, what a play by Pat Watkins, and how happy are you for that kid? He adjusted to the ball, John. He had to do a 180. He was looking over his outside shoulder. He had to adjust to the ball right at the sidelines. He makes the catch, gets out of bounds, stops the clock. Ball is at the 18. What leadership by senior Patrick Watkins. Great stuff.
So North Quincy, 1:55 left to go. They're threatening now in the red zone of Quincy High School. Ball at the 18-yard line. 4 receivers set again for North Quincy. Stanton back to pass. Looking, fires over to his right side, and it is complete. Flag thrown on the play. Pass goes complete to Paul Reamer at the Quincy High School 10-yard line. And we'll see what the penalty marker is. R.J. Barton thinks it's going to be against Quincy High School.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been after the play.
We have a personal foul, roughing the passer.
So it's going to be another half the distance to the goal in that play. So the ball is at the 10. It'll be now marched up to the 5-yard line, and it'll be first and goal from the 5 for North Quincy.
Got to score quickly. There's 1:44 to go. I give the Red Raiders credit here, John. No matter the outcome, they have hung tough, and I give them credit on this final drive here. If they can punch it in, it's going to be an exciting onside kick, I'm sure. Let's see what happens here.
All right, 4 receivers set for the Raiders. Stanton back to pass, rolling to his left. Looking, gets hit as he throws, and it goes incomplete. E.J. Lewis and also number 17, Pat Fernandez for Quincy High School, hit Stanton. And if Stanton had an extra half second there, Jim, we might have had a touchdown for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, well, it's good he got rid of it when he did because he got plowed.
All right, 1:21 left to go. North Quincy out of timeouts. 27-17, Quincy on top. North Quincy going to try to chip away at this lead, get a touchdown here, and as you said, Jim, get the extra point, and then the onside kick.
Yeah, we got to keep in mind that if Stanton is sacked, the clock's going to continue running. So by throwing the incompletion, he stopped the clock. Good decision by Mike Stanton.
Second down and goal from the Quincy High 5-yard line. Again, 1:21 left to go. Stanton getting ready to pass, and he is sacked and ball's loose. And Joel could keep up with a sack. Looks like Quincy has recovered, and they have.
Wow, huge play there. Huge play by Joliker. And the Presidents just bring in the house. Former defensive coordinator Bill Reardon using a Belichickian approach here to the end of this game. He just decided that he was going to bring everyone at Stanton on every play and continue to pressure him. When the ball was in the middle of the field, it did not work as Stanton escaped a couple of times. But down here, once they get in the red zone, it worked and worked marvelously, ultimately producing a turnover. And that signals the end of this ball game, John.
All right, there was no penalty on the play there, so just want to let people at home watching that there was no penalty at home. So 27-17. So Quincy's going to need to nail the ball twice, and that will be the end of the ball game. After this, actually, we can take a look at that last replay here of the big play by Ed Jolker coming up with the sack. You can see Jolker coming up from his end position and hitting Stanton's blind side. And that's going to seal the ball game for the Presidents.
Yeah, great strip there by Joliker, and we've seen that all game, the way the players get up and work the strip. It's a well-coached Quincy squad. They were outgunned in terms of the numbers, meaning there are fewer players. They had more guys who had to go both ways, but they showed great conditioning and great character today, and they executed when they had to. On the other side of the ball, I give the Red Raiders great credit, John. They fought the whole game, marched down the field, almost got in the end zone here on this last possession. They came up just short, and it's a very, very disheartening loss for North Quincy.
All right, so that will be the final snap. It should be. Quincy High School will win their 10th Thanksgiving Day matchup in a row by a final score of 27-17 as the clock gets ready to tip down and as they throw the Gatorade bucket onto first-year head coach Bill Reardon. He's going to get his first victory in this matchup, and I'm sure he's thrilled about that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a little dynamic that was in play here. Reardon didn't want to break the streak. At least he's kept it alive in his first year, so congratulations to Bill Reardon.
All right, so again, the final score, Quincy High School 27, North Quincy 17. One of the MVPs here today, Jim, was Tim Lewis for Quincy High School. 143 yards on 26 carries, 3 touchdowns for Tim Lewis.
Yeah, no question. He had a dominating second half. That determined the result in this game. So, great second half for the Presidents. Seals the outcome, a 27-17 victory. 10th win in a row. Really something, John. You see the lineup here as they shake hands, and it's a nice thing to see the sportsmanship here. Both teams really went at it hard out there in the field. Feel badly for some of the seniors for North Quincy who had a great year, John. Really put their heart and soul out into this game today. But then on the other side of the field, you got to be happy for guys like Sean Gray, Mark Gilbody, the seniors for Quincy, E.J. Lewis, Brian McGee, all guys who showed great leadership all year. And they come away with their 10th victory on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, some of those North Quincy seniors who have played fantastically throughout the entire season. Pat Watkins, Terrell Staley, R.J. Barden, Joe Benoit. Those are the 4 captains for this team leading the way. Also, we should put in there a lot of other players that help this team. Matt J., number 22, a great wide receiver. Joe Valpondo helped out a lot here this year for North Quincy as well. I'm sure there's other players that I'm missing that had a fantastic year for North Quincy High School and unfortunately come away here today with a Thanksgiving Day loss. Also, the kicker, Chris Evora, had a good year. Joe Edgley, another name to mention. I think we're going to try to go down to the field now for the trophy presentation to the Quincy High School presidents.
Got John Mercurio in the middle of the crowd, right?
Yeah, John Mercurio, also Anna El Torre down there, who's been helping John.
Yeah, we should thank both of them. We got to thank up in the booth our guy who helped us out a lot, Martin Dunham, with the stats. There's a nice shot of the Quincy High presidents.
Let me know, though, if we need to wrap it up. All right, So down the field here, as you see the presidents congratulating each other after a 27-17 victory, the 76th annual Thanksgiving Day game. And we're getting ready for the trophy presentation down here on the field. I think we'll go down to the field. See Superintendent Richard DeCristofaro down there to present the trophy.
Gentlemen, great game. Great game. Coach Reardon, first Thanksgiving victory. Congratulations. Yeah, Coach. Congratulations. Hey, Quincy Presidents, 10 years in a row. Yeah! Good luck.
Domination!
John, we're signing off here from Veterans Stadium after what Superintendent Rick DeCristofaro called 10 years in a row there for the Presidents. A great win for the Presidents. And we should thank all our crew, John, for their fine work. And why don't you handle the wrap-up?
All right, so as you said, lots of help here today at the stadium. We want to thank our statistician, Martin Dunham. Down the field helping John Mercurio. Our cameraman was Anna El Torre. Also on camera, Grace Busher, Glenn Busher, and Howard McKay. On audio, we had Paul Biller. On graphics, Peter Doherty. On replay, Bill Early. Our technical director, Michael Jarvie. Our engineer, Chris Potter. Our director, George Capadonna. And our executive producer, Elizabeth Campbell. So again, one final time here at the stadium, Quincy High School, their 10th victory in a row over their crosstown rivals, the North Quincy Red Raiders. Final score of 27-17. Quincy High School finished the year with a record of 5-6. North with a record of 6-5. So one final time here. Happy Thanksgiving from here at the stadium. For Jim Timmons, my name is Jonathan Caleri. We want to thank you for watching this edition of QATV Sports on Thanksgiving morning.